All right. Thank you
That's
for
it.
whoever comes to eventually watch/listen to this. Okay, so we are here for episode 11. You guys ready?
Episode 11 already.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Okay. So before we get started, I want to read to you guys about humors and blood resonance, something that we are going to add to the game as of tonight. So, this is coming from page 226. If you guys ever want to go and, look it up on your own, if you didn't understand it and you want to read it in a little bit more detail, because I'm just going to kind of bounce around. So, we're going to start with, turn this lamp on. The blood is the life. Human blood powers a vampire's body. Without fresh juice, a kindred lies still, torpid and powerless. Its dead heart beats only when fueled by the stolen essence of life. Its eyes only work when the corona and the viscous body flows with blood. All vampires know vital fluids consist of far more than plasma, blood cells, and platelets. Some unknowable link to a kind soul gives every person's red rum its particular kick and effect. Perhaps it's just hormones and the traces of the incessant bioelectrical current of mind. But a victim's feelings profoundly affect the kindred system. So, drink deep enough, and the resonance of a victim rises to the surface, first as a sharp taste in the blood, then as images, whispers, and feelings, clots of unresolved trauma or clusters of rising hopes, crisp memories, a ghost like presence, or visions of heart rending moments can occur just as blood loss nears the fatal amount. A kill always gives the strongest, most lasting rush, so the temptation is always there. The rush of blood is not just a high, it's a state where the blood changes a vampire's own resonance just a bit. Plain melancholic blood is a good buzz to be on when obfuscating, but that unique subservient dog walker with deep mommy issues owns a special breed of submission that makes dominate possible without eye contact. That's what kindred call a dyscrasia. Licks call it a clot, and players call it a must drink story player character. So, I decided I didn't want to read that part. The effects of temperament. Okay. So, resonance comes in three temperaments: fleeting, intense, and acute. Fleeting temperament occurs in the moment, thanks to momentary stimuli. Humans in basic emotional equilibrium, normal well adjusted humans, experience fleeting bursts of all four resonances in their daily lives. Okay, let's go over the four resonances. So, choleric, which is adrenaline, and it comes from angry, violent, bullying, passionate, and envious. Melancholy is the thyroid hormone, comes from being sad, scared, intellectual, depressed, or grounded. Phlegmatic is the pituitary, is lazy, apathetic, calm, controlling, and sentimental. And the sanguine humor is from the hormones of testosterone or estrogen and comes with the emotions from horny, happy, addicted, active, flighty, and enthusiastic. So, an intense temperament indicates a human with a very strong tendency towards one or another resonance. This connection might be due to mental illness, age, past trauma, drug addiction, or just a very active reward loop. A good looking person who enjoys sex can easily become intensely sanguine, thanks to seeking and getting their kicks every night. An acute resonance is so intense that it creates a self sustaining reaction in the blood. Kindred have adopted Hippocrates' term dyscrasia, or bad mixture, to refer to this effect. Younger licks, careless of alchemy and hematology, refer to it as a clot. So these different resonances affect your disciplines. Choleric affects your celerity or potence. Melancholy affects your fortitude or obfuscate. Phlegmatic affects your auspex or dominate. Sanguine affects blood sorcery or presence. And drinking from an animal gives you an animal blood resonance, which works towards animalism and protein. Protean, not protein, right? Okay. People taste and kick different, and certain people make certain powers easier when a vampire is drunk on them. After hundreds of victims, patterns begin to emerge to any feeder. The sad kills help you fade from sight. The horny kills boost the pull, and the angry ones fuel the punching. Blood accretes through time, combining and subliming through the strange alchemies that generate the supernatural effects of the gifts of Cain. So, fleeting temperament provides storytelling juice and savor to the hunt, but it has no immediate mechanical effect except as thin blood. Well, you don't have to worry about that. But drinking blood with intense temperament gives the drinker one additional die for dice pools involving a discipline that corresponds to that resonance. This bonus lasts until the vampire's next drink of blood dilutes it, or until the vampire system empties of blood because their hunger has reached level 5. Now, in here it also talks about tapping into a dyscrasia, but that's a little bit more rare, and tapping into you really have to create a dyscrasia on purpose. And it's not something that you can do without creating stains. But feel free to read about that if you guys want to. That's page 228. Okay, so I want to read changing resonance. Characters can change a victim's resonance through role-playing or through the various social systems of the game. If the character successfully scares, seduces, or drugs their victim, the storyteller should shift the victim's resonance to match. If a vampire seduces a scared victim, for example, the human gains the sanguine fleeting temperament, while their melancholic resonance is temporarily submerged. Intensifying a victim's resonance follows a similar process to increase their temperament, but one step from fleeting to intense, or from intense to acute, on a successful social test or following a cool role-playing scene. Once a victim acutely feels a resonance, well, that's where we talk about trying to create a dyscrasia, and I'm not going to get into that. Okay, and I also want to talk about resonance and experience. In order to justify spending experience on disciplines, your character must feed on blood with the matching type of resonance. The amount of blood and vessels consumed varies, but by and large, it scales with the discipline rating sought. The storyteller is well within their right to have you seek out stronger and stronger resonances, even dyscrasias, to achieve higher discipline ratings. Learning a new out-of-clan discipline also requires you to taste the blood of one who possesses it. And I don't think any of you are really seeking an out-of-clan discipline yet, but Enriquez is going to offer it to Hector. Okay, any questions about blood resonance? I know it can be kind of confusing.
I figure it's going to start answering itself as we just get into it.
Mm-hmm. So to understand it a little better, basically the lifestyles and emotional states of the people we feed from can impact our own personal physiology.
Yes, it can impact your own personality, as well as mechanically it can raise some disciplines.
Okay.
Okay, so looking at someone like myself that only drinks from, for the most part, feeds from horrible murderers and such. Yeah. What does that mean?
Okay, well, that is choleric, right? I put my page away. What page did I say it was? 226.
I don't know.
And choleric, 226. So choleric is angry, violent, bullying, passionate, and envious people.
Yeah.
Okay, so that tends to feed into celerity and potence. So if you're looking to raise your obfuscate, then you'd want to look into melancholy. So that's sad, scared, intellectual, depressed, and grounded people. So you can find intellectual people. And you can also, through conversation with them, through role-playing with them, you can try to change their, their current situation. Scared.
Okay, so we
like,
purposely want to drink from people that have the values, I guess, that we
Yes.
want. Okay, that's interesting.
especially if you're wanting to increase it. Like when you want to raise your obfuscate, you're going to need to find somebody who is not fleeting. What was the next one? Intense. Who is at least intensely melancholy. So given that you have kind of a specific hunting targets, you may want to abduct them. Keep them in a cage for a couple of weeks and develop that fear until their melancholy is just right.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It's like a
Yeah.
Dexter situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
But it is like you can change what their current resonance is through time, conversation, through scaring them. Well, for melancholy anyway, through scaring them or through making them depressed. That's kind of what Aaron Hopkins was doing to Jeremy.
What if they are depressed because they're drunk? And you know how it makes you think about stuff?
It might not be good enough. If they're well balanced and they're just moving from fleeting to fleeting to fleeting, then that may put them into a melancholic state. But if they are intensely choleric, which is probably the people you're looking for, then it's hard for them to give up their intensely choleric for fleeting of other things.
Okay.
And when it does happen, it's temporary. So since you will be looking for Obfuscate 4, right? I do believe I would be requiring you to get them to an intense.
Okay.
So they're probably not going to be in that state. Your usual target will probably not be in that state without you doing some work to do it.
Okay.
But this is all something that you'll learn over your 20 years that you guys are going to spend with your sire. Or somebody. I don't know if in Jack's case it's going to be his sire. I don't know if in Hector's case it's going to be his sire. In Hector's case, some of it will be, but I also think that Enriquez might let Hector go and spend some time with Vincent if Hector wants to, so that he can learn more about being Bruja. But we'll get we'll get to that crap later. What about what?
Yeah. Oh, well, a couple of things. First, with my guy, since he's gonna take more of that hunting style again of like the picking his target, and yeah, I think he can kind of shape his to that effect. The one where it looks like if minor celerity and potence are my disciplines, right? Those are my main ones.
Yeah, they are.
So
those come from choleric, which is already the angry, violent, bullying people. So
right, so I'm going after jerk-offs, and then I'm like, I guess I don't. Choleric is I don't want to put them in fear, right? Like I want to put them.
Right, you want to keep them angry. Putting them in fear will change them to melancholy.
Okay, so
and
yeah, so I kind of
melancholy feeds into fortitude and obfuscate.
Wait, as I'm looking at these though, it says any animal threatened with a fight is choleric.
Where are you seeing that?
So they're fight or flight. They're so 226. 227.
Okay.
227 is where they say animal humors.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
So,
that's in animals. We're not doing that. We're just going to keep animal blood as animalism and protein, because none of you guys are that much into animal. I mean, if you want to get that much into trying to feed off of animals, then we can get into that. But that's like an extra rule.
it feels like there might be some bleed between choleric and melancholy, though, because think about it. Like, if you get scared, your adrenaline kicks off,
Yeah.
not your thyroid.
Right. Well, I mean,
Right, the
it
thyroid
kind
will
of,
kick in later.
It depends if you're scared, because scared goes to both fight and flight. If you're scared
Right.
fight, then yeah, you may very well stay choleric. But if you're scared flight, you may go melancholy. You may stay choleric. If you're scared in the human way of, standing there stuck, and you can't do anything because you're all dumbass panicked, deer in the headlights, that's melancholic.
For purposes of the game, right? Because in real life, your adrenaline in that fight or flight situation is definitely going.
Oh yeah. But if you don't fight or flight and you just deer caught in the headlights and stand there, yeah, that's
Cowering. Well, no, I mean the deer in the headlights. Honestly, your adrenaline could be pumping as well. You're just frozen because you just your body can't handle it.
Yeah, but the begging for your life and that would be melancholy.
Okay, quick question. Since these like blood type, or I guess states, are connected to different disciplines, what is connected to dominate? If fortitude is people,
Dominate is phlegmatic, which is the lazy, apathetic, calm, controlling, and sentimental people.
Huh. Okay, and then fortitude, was that melancholy?
Fortitude was melancholy.
It's melancholy.
Sad, scared,
Are you gonna give us
intellectual, depressed, and grounded. Am I going to give you what?
like so if we make these arguments like in game, like will you give us some leeway with these? Because I really do think, especially if
No,
if we're
because it's going to
attacked,
be rolled at random.
oh wait.
I mean, I guess if you're trying to adjust them, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because like the majority of my guys' situations are going to be I picked a target of like somebody who I think is a terrible person, right, and a bully to begin with, right, which is already like choleric, right.
Yes.
So I jump in on this bully, and that bully goes, like turns tail and runs, right, and I even just keep toying with him, like like showing, like making him feel like he's just got away from me, and then I jump in front of him again, and then and to me that adrenaline is still pumping, even though that person is scared per the manual.
So
I don't know.
The way I'm gonna do it is, the more you cat and mouse him, the more you're going to put him into melancholy.
My computer's in the.
Okay. So it has to be more immediate then.
We'll go get it
especially guys that are naturally in choleric. The more you play with him, that's the more putting him into melancholy. You can play with him a little bit, but it's gonna, each guy's gonna be a little different.
Okay.
It'll take practice, but Hector will become good at it.
Gotcha. Just so basically, I just have to make sure I keep him in this state of like actively trying to get away or moving, rather than he's gone into this submission and accepted that I'm at it.
Once
he's at my mercy.
Once he breaks down and starts crying, oops, I went too far. I mean, it's still good for him because maybe he'll stop being a dick. But as far as feeding from him, you probably turned him melancholy.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? And plus, it's in there, and you guys can talk to me about it in the Discord, and you'll just learn. But anyway, we're starting to put this into play now. I didn't want to add this too early because it can get complicated, and I just wanted you guys to, just already be learning that we have to feed on people and crap like that. So I didn't want to throw in too much at once.
Just as a rule of thumb, I tend to like try to keep things like I try to think of things less like as of what's in the rule book and more kind of what's making sense in the universe as I'm learning it. So that'll help me role play better. I just rely on you to kind of tell me what the consequences of my actions are.
Yeah. And that's what we've been doing. That's worked out pretty well. Okay, you guys ready?
Right.
Episode 11. So I'm not starting with a recap, so I will give you... I didn't write out a recap. I'll just give you a quick recap to help you guys remember. You guys found Prince James in an old, busted-up water heater tank. And Valentina brought him back. And then, you know, he thanked you guys, told you guys that he owed you and you guys deserve a celebration. And then he disappeared. And you haven't heard anything back from him. Okay, so now I'm going to go over this. So, we're setting a scene here. His Excellency Rodrigo de Segovia is deep in the depths of his Gothic estate. The room is lit only by torchlight, casting long and deep shadows across its open space, old stone walls and floor. Drips fall from the ceiling and splash into puddles on the ground. In the center of the room, the Tzimisce Lord is working on a new project. It stands on a dozen hands, each twisting together at the upper arm, twisting into a thick tree of flesh and bone, eyes and teeth. Dozens of other arms sprout from the base like tree limbs at varying heights and angles. Some hands are open, ready to reach and grasp and tear. Other hands are palming heads, acting as a neck for a face caught in a perpetual scream, with teeth filed to sharpen cones, all in a neat little row. Along the back wall, a dozen more ghouls, slaves, stand silent, waiting for their master to flesh-mend them into the new creature, into his creation. A knock on the door to his crafting chamber. His Excellency, Rodrigo de Segovia, doesn't even look up from his work. You may enter. Another of his special ghouls, this one with a hollowed-out stomach cavity and an oil lantern inside, casting a new light into the shadows as it enters. There's a package for you, Master. In its hands is a neatly wrapped package, long and white, with a red ribbon and bow, about a foot long, but only a few inches high and only a few inches wide. A package, he says, squeezing the flesh of his project together, a knot to pause his work. From whom? It does not say, Master. Was there no card? He dusts himself off and heads over to his ghoul, retrieving the package. It says it is for Rodrigo de Segovia, Your Excellency. Rodrigo takes the package to his work table and easily snaps the red ribbon binding it together. The white lid comes off easily. Inside is a single red rose atop a glossy white packing paper. Rodrigo could feel his blood stir and the edges of his mouth creep up into a smile. It was such an unusual feeling without putting thought and intention behind it. Centuries since anything like this had made him remember what it was like to be happy, to have just a little hint of joy. He has survived, Rodrigo says with a laugh that echoes across the walls of the room. He survived. My enemy has survived. And that's where we leave that scene.
Nice scene.
Okay. So, we are going to open with Mila. Is everybody still here? I heard somebody leave.
Nope.
Okay. So we're going to open with Mila. For
Yay.
the last 5 days, you have been with Mahira Basha in a pretty nice hotel by the airport.
Ooh.
Okay? So the one thing that you have noticed, she doesn't wear her hijab. She wore it to meet you and hasn't worn it since.
Okay.
Okay. So she's taught you a few things here and there about being Banu Hakim, like she did on her walk. Answered your questions. the thing she seems to be most interested in right now is teaching you the occult and teaching you religion. Not necessarily to teach you a religious code, because you seem to have your own grasp on a moral code. She says that's extremely important, but you have one. So she's okay with that. But she is just drowning you in knowledge of occult, religion, and demonology. So
Okay.
if you want to learn a point in occult, you can. It will cost you 3 experience points. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And last night, she told you that tomorrow night, I'm going to attempt to teach you the first levels of blood sorcery,
Okay.
of Quietus, our version of blood sorcery. And she poured you a glass of wine, just a little bit of wine,
Mm-hmm.
and pricked her finger and put a few drops into it and passed you the wine glass. I'm hoping that an extra little hit of my blood will help you learn it. Ordinarily, I wouldn't even bother, but you have so little understanding of the occult, so little understanding of magic, that I think it's going to be difficult for you to learn to bend reality in this way. But if you want to try it without taking my gift, feel free to. This will not be enough to blood bond you.
I'll drink it.
Okay. So the next night, you guys are, you're sitting on the floor at a little coffee table that she has placed in the room. So there are 2 possible powers associated with the first level of blood sorcery. I'm hoping that my blood has already gotten you started in developing one of these. If not, it's going to take a lot more work. So let's start here. And she has like a blood vial, a test tube, and she just pours it onto the table. And then she looks up at you, locks eyes with you. Take a taste of it.
From the table?
From the table.
Okay.
How do you take it? Do you lick it off the table? Do you touch it with your finger? How do you take a taste of it?
Oh, I was just gonna lick the table.
Okay. Alright, you lick the table. Feel it on your tongue. Take it in slowly. Take command of it. Put all of your focus on it. On the blood. Okay, and you sit back up and you're trying to do this. Focus.
Mm-hmm.
Focus. Close your eyes. Keep the blood in your mouth. Focus. Now tell me. Does this blood belong to a kindred, a ghoul, or a human? Now, if you want to purchase that first point of blood sorcery and take, I forgot what this power is called, you can do it right now. Otherwise, I want you to make a resolve and awareness roll.
Oh shoot! Because I figured out which ones I wanted, and I don't remember what they were.
I'll find it real quick.
If that might have been one of them, but I can't remember.
Disciplines! Okay. Nope. Advanced combat, that's too far. Rituals. Okay. Blood sorcery. So, this power is called a taste for blood. The one that she's seeing
Right.
if you already have. It does, by tasting a drop of blood, the user can discern certain basic traits of the one whom it belongs, like if it's human, ghoul, or kindred.
Can't remember what the
The other one is corrosive vitae. You rip your arm or your hand open and splash blood on somebody, and it turns into acid.
Oh no, I don't want that.
Well, those are the two.
And then okay,
and was there one in the Camarilla book? I didn't look.
I didn't look in that one either.
Okay.
But are those like level 1 ones?
Yes.
There's like level 2 ones.
There are level 2 ones. You can't take those unless you have a level 1 one.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I'll take a point in that one because there was a level 2 one I want for sure. So.
Okay. So that costs you 5.
5 experience points.
Mm-hmm. It costs 5 for the first. It costs 5 per point per new dot. So on your second one, it'll cost you 10. That is of a clan discipline, and this is a clan discipline for you.
Okay. Oh, I didn't log into Roll20.
Okay, so since you took it, you want to make a resolve plus blood sorcery roll.
Okay. I forgot to log in a second.
While you do that, I'll read you the system for a taste of blood. The user dabs the blood on their tongue and makes a resolve plus blood sorcery roll at difficulty 3. With a win, the user can determine the resonance and intensity of the blood if human. They can also identify whether the blood belongs to a mortal, ghoul, vampire, or other supernatural creature. Tasting Vitae also determines the relative blood potency, and thus the likely generation band of that vampire.
This is the one I wanted. Okay, and that's all that one, right? The one I'm taking?
Mm-hmm. A critical win also reveals whether the subject has ever committed diablerie, and the generation within 1 of the vampire. If the user knows of the supernatural creature in question, they can identify the specific supernatural creature on a critical win after tasting the blood. If you've tasted werewolf before, then you might recognize it. Otherwise, you just know it's not human, ghoul, or kindred. Okay.
Put 1 point in blood sorcery.
Okay, and you need to make a resolve plus blood sorcery roll.
Okay. Oh, I guess I probably do it this way. Blood sorcery. No.
Resolve and discipline.
What?
Okay, so on your discipline chart, where you added blood sorcery, and you put 1 dot, there's a die pull-down menu there. Click on that. You will select resolve and select discipline.
Oh, okay. And then do I click the die at the end of that row or the die
I don't know.
after
I don't know. Click them and find out. Blood sorcery. Your resolve is 4?
Yes.
Okay, you only have 2 successes. You need 3 to succeed. So if you want to spend a willpower point, you can. You have 3 failures on there.
I will. So if I reroll, if I spend 1 willpower, I reroll all 3 of them?
Yes.
Okay. And where do I reroll?
There's a,
right here?
like, next to willpower is a willpower reroll button.
Got it. 3 dice. Woohoo!
So now you have 5.
Now I major like.
Okay. So you did have to spend willpower, and you're doing this as she's telling you. Focus. Focus on it. Now tell me, is the blood kindred, ghoul, or human? And you know the blood is kindred. In fact, you know the blood is hers.
Oh.
It tastes exactly like what you've tasted in the wine. It tastes exactly like how she tasted when she fed you that first time after you died. Which was very difficult to remember, but with this, with this level of success, you remember it. You know, 100% this is hers. What do you tell her?
It's yours.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I knew you could do it. Okay. And just to get a second test, she pulls out another vial. Well, she cleans that up. She doesn't clean it up with her tongue. She cleans it up with a rag, but she cleans it up. And she pours out another test tube. Okay. Can you tell me again?
This time I'll use my finger, I guess.
Okay. You just need a little taste.
Yeah.
Okay. So make your roll again. Resolve and blood sorcery.
Oh man.
1.
Mhm.
If you want to spend willpower, or else you just can't put it together.
Yeah, I would need 4 successes,
You need 3.
and I would reroll 4 die.
No, you can only reroll 3 die at the max.
Oh, so I would need all 3 of them.
Well, you're gonna roll 4. You need to get 2 more.
Oh, yeah, duh. Yeah, okay, I'll do it one more time.
Okay.
So I reroll 4 dice?
No, you can only
Okay.
reroll 3. I think I did say you would reroll 4, but no, you
Yeah,
only
that's-
reroll 3.
Oh,
You didn't get any more. So you're struggling with it, and you're struggling and focusing like she told you. You reach out and get some more and dab it on your tongue, and no, you can't get it.
Right.
You have no idea.
I have no idea.
Well,
I don't-
we have to work on it. And she like unrolls a black cloth that she has onto the table, and it unrolls, and inside of it are 8 other. There are 10 pouches, test tube pouches, and 2 of them are empty. There are 8 more, and she pulls out another one, and she cleans up the mess. Let's try again. We're gonna get this going until you're a master at it. It may take a few months, but we're going to master this. So about an hour later, you've gone through a couple more of these, and now you're spending more time actually studying it. You're not just trying to taste it and get an answer. She's having you study it. You're washing it around in your mouth and trying to get as much information as you can. You're trying to glean what you can. And you've gone through a couple of them. Maybe you had success once or twice. Your phone rings.
My phone?
Yes.
Okay. Hello.
Okay, so it tells you who it is. And
Oh.
it is Miguel.
Miguel.
You remember Miguel?
Miguel is one of their sires, right?
Miguel is Jack's sire, and he went with you guys
Right.
to Virginia.
Okay. Oop. Has she met him?
Who? Mila?
No. What's her name?
Mahira? Maybe. You don't know.
Okay.
Not that you saw.
Right.
She has not for sure met him.
Oh, but I've been with her now for like 5 days.
You've
right?
been with her for like 5 days.
Okay, I'm gonna answer it.
Okay.
Hello.
Mila,
Yes.
this is Miguel.
What's up?
I just wanted to let you know that Prince James has summoned you to come to him tomorrow night at 9 p.m. at the El Paso Municipal Rose Garden in Memorial Park.
Okay.
Do you know where this is? Do you need a...
No, I know where it is.
Okay. Okay, 9 p.m. Don't be late.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. He sounds happy and excited in a way like you actually haven't heard him sound that way before. Okay, and he hangs up. That's the end of your scene.
Yay! I will probably text the other 3 and ask them if they got the same message.
Okay.
Just FYI.
All right. Well, the other scenes are pretty much happening at the same time, so
Right. Okay.
your text might come through to them. Okay, so next we'll do Hector. You ready? So again, it's been
Can you hear me?
about
Can you hear
I
me?
hear you. It's been
Can we do somebody else first? I'm
Sure.
sorry because
Yeah.
I got something I need to break away for. I think for 5 minutes.
yeah, no problem.
I can go.
Okay,
Thanks.
we'll do Jack.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's been 5 nights. Jack, is with his family. He is at the... It's, you know, it's up to you what you guys' hideout was. Is probably, you know, that's up to you. When you told her to go to your hideout, it's up to you and how much money you have in a hideout, or if your rules were just to, you know, go to some shady street motel and use cash, or, you know, whatever. Well, you decide and tell me. Where is your family?
The hideout was a family friend.
Okay.
It's not someone who's like actually related that like people looked up they'd find out.
Okay.
About. It's somebody that ROTC with in high school that he was really good friends with.
Sounds good. Are they in El Paso?
His name is Bill.
Are they in El Paso or Las Cruces, which is like the kind of a side city to El Paso, or even somewhere else? Of course, somewhere else would mean traveling, and traveling was already bad for you.
Yeah, it's Las Cruces. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Las Cruces.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah.
It's like a rural area.
Okay. Yeah, outside of Las Cruces then. So yeah, and you were there for Christmas. You made it for Christmas. There with your 4-year-old and your 2-year-old and your wife and your friend, and I suppose your friend's wife and your friend's family.
Nice.
And you know, you had a good time. Your was your 4-year-old's name Billy?
4-year-old's name is Timmy.
Timmy. Okay, and your 2-year-old's name was Sarah?
Sarah, yeah.
And your wife Jennifer is pregnant.
Is Jennifer.
And she is pregnant and pretty far along, right?
Yeah. Soon to be born.
Okay. So yeah, you had
probably just the beginning of the 3rd trimester.
Okay. So yeah, you've had a really great last few days spent with your family during Christmas time. Okay. And despite how great this time has been, the whole time you know that there's a whole other world out there that you can't escape from. You're gonna have to go back.
Yeah.
But at least you have this time with them.
Accentuated by the fact that because of my new condition, I'm only seeing them for a small part of the day because I'm waking up at night because of my weird, unexplainable new medical condition that I have.
Exactly.
But people develop allergies later in life, so that's, you know.
Yeah, it
sort of
sucks,
explained.
but it's understandable, and your wife is trying to be understanding. You guys are having some problems, but you know, just as you would expect.
Yeah. It's basically, you know, if people can deal with having to work like a true night shift, then this is like a worse version of that.
Yeah. Okay. But one new problem has been showing up for you, and it's been getting a little bit stronger every night as the nights pass. How did I write that? Okay. You're starting to feel a hunger that is different from just your hunger, than just your hunger to satiate the beast, just your hunger for blood. It's different, and it feels like an addiction. From everything you've studied, from everything you understand of an addiction, it feels like an addiction. And the more you think about it, the more you have to agree with that analysis. And this addiction is Miguel. Every time you think about him, your heart beats an extra spot. Every time you think about it, you think about his blood rushing into your mouth. You think about the power behind it. You are definitely addicted to Miguel's blood. And since it's been a little over a month since you've fed from him, it's almost like you're having an addictive withdrawal. Not the sickness that comes with withdrawal, but the intensity of needing it, but you understand what it is and why. But it's getting stronger, and it's good, and it's going to be harder and harder to resist. But you put that aside because right now you're here with your family, and Miguel's not around. But every few minutes, it creeps back up into your mind.
Jeez.
So you're sitting there. You're sitting in there in the chair that you've claimed to be yours over the last few days. And a ball lands in your lap as you were thinking about Miguel. This ball just lands in your lap and it snaps you out of it.
No.
It's just a little round ball. Throw the ball, Daddy.
All right. And just toss it back to him. See if he catches it.
I don't know. He's 4. Yeah, he catches it.
Nice.
Yeah, I caught it. And he throws it back to you.
I'm gonna continue with that. As long as he stays interested.
He stays interested.
Gonna try to,
you guys toss the ball back and forth for a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be moment and keep all the vampire stuff, including Miguel, just as much as I can.
And as you're throwing the ball, halfway through the 20 minutes of throwing the ball, you think to yourself, as I'm playing with him, I'm not even thinking about Miguel. Oh crap, I just thought about Miguel. But you continue throwing the ball. And then, 20 minutes goes by and he stops. He says, Daddy?
Yes, son?
You want to play Legos?
Of course I want to play Legos. Where are you building?
This way. And he grabs your finger and pulls you out of the chair and takes you to the room where him and his sister have been staying.
Hey, Sarah, how you doing? You getting tired?
Yeah, and she yawns. Yeah. Mommy told me I should stay up as long as I can. She's been drawing, and she shows you a picture. And this is a 2-year-old's picture of her family. And it is not a very good piece of art.
That is so good, Sarah.
Just looking at it, your blood pumps. It's warm to be in this family environment. It's warm to be home. Can we put it on a refrigerator?
Yes, we will. We will put it on the refrigerator.
Okay.
I'm sure Bill and his wife won't mind. I'll pick her up in one hand, and then I'll be back in 1 second, Timmy, and then walk over into the kitchen and grab one of the cheesy magnets.
Your wife is sitting at the kitchen table, the dining room table, and talking with your friend's wife. As you head towards the refrigerator, you see her. Your phone rings. She looks up at you and rolls her eyes.
All right, I'm gonna pin the picture, and then I'm gonna set Sarah back on the ground. Go back to your brother and help him build Legos.
Okay, Daddy.
And then I'll second.
It's
and
Miguel.
Then I'll go. Yeah, I'll go outside to the front porch.
Yep. As you notice Miguel's name on the phone, or Miguel's number, because it doesn't put names yet. Your blood pumps with just this split second of excitement and the potential to take his essence into yourself and make yourself more powerful. You need it.
Right.
And of course you put that away. You know what it is. It's an addiction to the blood bond. So you shove that back down. If you ever want to free yourself of this, you're going to have to resist it. Hey there, Jack, Miguel says.
Hey, Miguel.
Hey, so I got good news.
Okay.
Prince James made me his herald. I know
Can
you
you
don't
remind
really
me
you don't really know what that means to you. So basically, whenever he has anything he needs to say, he's gonna send me to say it. Isn't that great?
Yep, that is great.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
That's a,
Prince James has something he needs to say. Okay, so Prince James summons you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. to the El Paso Municipal Rose Garden in Memorial Park. You know where that is? Yeah, you know where that is.
yes, I'm aware.
Okay. I don't have any idea what he's calling you guys for, but he's calling all four of you guys. So
Okay.
maybe he's gonna.
Any other details?
No, I have no idea what it's about, but he seems to be in a good and happy mood, so I imagine it's gonna be a good and happy thing.
Okay. All right then.
So how you doing out there?
I'm doing fine. It's a little rough with the cravings, but I'm getting through it.
Well,
If you don't mind, talking to you is a little hard right now, so we could.
I'm sorry, man. I'll let you go. Just make sure
Yeah.
you're not late. Prince James doesn't like it when every prince doesn't like it when anybody's late.
Things will be different between us once it's all over, and then we can talk more freely.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's still gonna take some time though.
Yep.
But
All right. Bye.
bye. Yep, and he hangs up. And that's where we'll end your scene.
Okay.
And I guess right after you hang up, like a few minutes later, then Mila texts you.
After that one go. That'll probably be closer to 9 or 10.
Okay.
Mila, what's your text?
I just say, hey, did Miguel contact you all to meet tomorrow at 9?
And I'll just reply, yes, see you all there.
Okay.
Okay. Do we want to do Hector or Jessica next?
I can go. I'm back.
Okay. So, again, it's been about 5 days that you have been with Enriquez. So,
Who I'm now calling Dad all the time.
are
in
you
a
really? Because
sarcastic
he
way
fucking
to
hates
annoy him.
that.
Yeah. And then sometimes deadbeat Dad.
That he doesn't hate as much.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry. Okay. What just happened? Somebody leave? Oh, that's
No,
good.
I think that's my because I'm
I'm not
flipping
your
through my
dad.
phone.
Okay. All right. So, during this time, he talked to you and explained to you pretty much everything that we talked about blood resonances. So everything that you asked me about blood resonances, he gave you an in-character Enriquez answer for, which is kind of blunt and to the point. That's kind of how he is. He's not a very happy
Sweet
person.
guy.
Yeah, the more you get to know him,
He's a real sweetheart.
yeah, he's not a very happy person. But he actually does seem maybe happier than any time you've met him, but that's still raising it up to like a level of 1.5 on a scale of 1 to 5. So,
I'm definitely gonna tease him about that too.
Yeah.
Every chance I get.
yeah, so you're teasing this guy, left and right all the time.
I think you care about me.
So, also
I
during
think
this,
you kind of care.
during these, these 5 days, he's kind of testing you on your discipline growth. He learns himself what discipline points you have, how you've developed. He offers to teach you presence, which is your other clan discipline, and he explains to you what presence is. Presence is your ability to make yourself more in situations around other people. You can either make yourself more charming or you can make yourself more intimidating. and he can
I
teach
just
you.
want to be more powerful.
You just want to be more. So you're not really interested in that. That's great.
I don't really.
I
bust
don't
my
put a
chest out
lot of.
lot.
Yeah,
I just hit when it comes time.
Yeah, he doesn't put a lot of training into that himself, but it is part of our clan discipline. It is one of our clan disciplines. It is part of our clan, and despite the fact that we are a very combat-oriented clan, as compared to most of the others, we do have this discipline, and you will find many of us are extremely strong in social situations. You'll also find many of us aren't.
Yeah, I'm gonna just let my actions do the talking.
And he talks to you about how he didn't really get to know his sire, and he was raised by mother. And the more he tells you about that, the more, it kind of makes sense that he isn't as Bruja as the other Bruja. And if you want, he can teach you the first levels of Obfuscate, which is the discipline that Mila uses to become invisible.
So I've been kind of thinking about this because I definitely am interested in learning to suppress my sound.
Mm-hmm.
My reasoning here is like I know the other.
You went away mid-sentence. Or I did.
Oh, you got me now?
Yes, I got you now.
Okay, sorry. I like being able to, to move with no sound because the blending into my surroundings isn't as important for me because I'm gonna be a speed-based guy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm interested in that first level of obfuscate where you suppress the sound. I forget what's like the nightmare shadow or whatever it is.
I'm looking for it. I'm almost there. I'm in peace.
I
know what it is. I just don't remember what it's called.
Right. I'll know it in like about a minute.
Silence of Death.
Silence of Death. That's what I'm interested in. But honestly, I'm more interested in Blink, and I don't know if I have enough
is
points for
celerity.
that. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not, and that's what I was, like. I could stay in my discipline with
Blink is what?
Enrique's,
Celerity 3?
Yeah. So I'm at 2 now, I think. What's weird is because didn't I earn like? I'm looking at my character sheet. So what's weird is that my potence is listed by the way. Potence is another. That a second, but
You've got potence
I'm
2 and celerity 2, right?
That's what I think it is because I have 2 skills in them, and one of them is like prowess.
Okay.
So I think I just didn't update my
Yeah, you didn't put the second dot. Yeah.
Yeah, I just.
You got the second dot in potence from your whatever it's called, hunting, feeding thing. Predator type.
Okay,
your predator type. That's what it's called.
Right. Okay. So I am interested. I think if I'm gonna up a skill, I'm totally cool with not trying to go down the obfuscate path if I can get the blink and stay in.
So blink will cost 15 experience.
Oh, so I don't have that, right?
And you're going to need to find somebody who is whatever. Which one was?
He doesn't.
Choleric.
Can't blink.
You'll have to find some. You have to feed on a series of choleric targets to enhance the celerity in your blood system.
Which, I mean, that should be easy for me.
Yeah, that is easy for you.
Yeah.
And then this is probably the conversation that started the whole, the whole talk about the resonances and yeah, choleric.
Right.
Choleric is easy for you. That's what your targets already are.
So, I guess the question for me is going to be, wait, can I? I don't think I have enough experience now to do.
You don't have 15. No, you'll have to save. You should have somewhere around 10.
And what do I have?
I think you have 10. Because this is episode 11, and you haven't spent any.
Yeah, I have 10. Okay, so I'd have to wait 5 more. But I don't want to. I do want to. Like it makes sense to me from a story standpoint. If I'm going to spend a bunch of time with this guy, I should probably learn something. So how much would obfuscate cost me
5.
to go after Silence and Death?
Mm-hmm. It would cost you 5.
Yeah, all right. From a story standpoint, then if it's either learn nothing from him or learn something, then I'll go with Silence and Death. Because
I mean, well, he's teaching you more things than just discipline, you know. But this is something that you can learn from him that you can't learn from most Brujah, and that's because he was raised by Nosferatu.
All right, let's do it then.
Okay.
Why not? Please, I like the story aspect of it. That I'm gonna have a unique chance to learn something from this guy.
Okay,
so,
so you don't really know that you're going to learn that. That is what you end up with because you know it's the player's decision. That's what's in the that's what comes through in the blood. But his level 1 ability is the other one. Is the one that allows him to become invisible if he's not moving.
Cloak of Shadows.
Yeah, Cloak of Shadows. So that's kind of what he expected you to learn, and you learn the other. So it costs you 5 experience. He feeds you a little bit of his blood. Not enough to blood bond you. That's what he tells you. The blood bond should be over because it's been over a month since your embrace. This isn't enough to blood bond you, but you will have to, in order to learn a new discipline outside of our clan disciplines, you have to get it. You have to receive it as a gift or take it from a kindred that has that discipline. And he doesn't go through the putting it in a wine thing. He just, tears open a little bit and says, just take a taste. He's not all artsy-fartsy.
Alright, I was like, what, you want me to suck it right out of your arm?
Yeah, just a taste. Just lick it. Don't suck it. Don't take enough to bond yourself. I don't want you bonded to me.
Yeah, dude, can you put that in a cup for me or something? I gotta lick it right
Fine. And he goes and he puts a little bit in it.
It's just a little weird. I got,
Fine.
Alright.
He needs to be artsy fartsy.
Yeah. And he puts a little bit, on a spoon.
Alright, cool. Alright, so I take some. I'm like, oh man, this
Okay.
is good
And it
stuff,
takes
man.
you, yeah.
My compliments to the chef.
Yeah, as you taste it, you can feel his power. You could take more, for sure. You're not addicted in any means like Jack is, but yeah, I mean, you could take more if you wanted to.
Let me chill. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
And you guys spend the next few days, working on developing this sense of silence. And he was actually surprised at first that, that was the power that was coming through because, like I said, that's not his power. But it's, that's not stuff that we need to delve into. So what you're seeing actually
But
is...
I have a quick question for you. I'm sorry. If I
Go ahead.
do decide to take more, is there any potential benefits out of it?
No.
Okay, forget it.
No. It's all role-playing, but you get the blood bond, so... If you were a ghoul, you would get, you get some stuff, but you're not. You have your own shit, so no, you don't get anything mechanically out of it. Okay, so that happened on the first night, and you guys spend the next couple of nights, working on that, and he takes you out patrolling an area of northeast El Paso, where he says a Brujah coterie has claimed to have encountered a Sabbat pack. So, the Sabbat don't use the term coterie. They use the term pack. And the problem with the Sabbat pack is that there is usually one elder in it who created everyone else. They're all of the same bloodline, usually. Not always, but usually. So we have the potential to be walking ourselves into a fight that can be very dangerous. But for the most part, what we're doing right now is information gathering. Okay?
Those odds.
And you guys spend a night... Oh, he got you a motorcycle, by the way.
Oh, that's dope.
And you guys, so you guys have been staying.
Is it a Harley? Please tell us a Harley.
Yeah, it's a Harley. It's old though.
Nice.
It's not new. It's like from the 70s.
It's classic.
Yeah. And it's not in really great condition either, but
And my guy's like an 18-year-old kid. He doesn't
yeah.
care. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
like he's like a
Oh
cop.
yeah, that's
He's like,
badass.
Whoa,
Uh-huh.
you're a badass motorcycle. Thanks,
Mhm.
Dad.
Yeah.
You're the best.
You guys have been staying in a locked stone with no windows basement underneath of a motorcycle repair shop. That's where you guys have been staying. So we're not putting the current scene isn't putting too much emphasis on that, but that's where he lives. That's his current haven, and you know, so that's the situation where you've been staying. And that's actually that is really close to the area that you guys are patrolling as well, looking for this Sabbat pack. So the first night you don't find anything. You do find a couple of you know, street toughs, street gangs out there, and you and Enriquez go and talk to them, and he determines that they're, you know, they're just normies. They're not what you guys are looking for, and he doesn't seem to know exactly what you're looking for, but he does seem to be expecting them to be in the form of some kind of a street gang. Because that's, you know, that's what he's interested in. You don't know where his information came from, and he didn't tell you because he's not really very forthcoming. So the last night, the fifth night, he takes you to this seedy little dive bar in that same area called Jay's. It's very dark, dreary. There's a small handful of customers, and the customers are very run down. These are the low, the poor, downtrodden, and struggling people. They're sitting by themselves. There's no party going on. It's quiet. There is some music playing, but just walking in here, you get this very somber feel that, you know, all of the customers in here are completely just down on their luck and waiting for life to end. That's the situation. So Enriquez points at a table and says, have a seat. Keep your eyes open for anything suspicious, anything that looks different, out of the ordinary. And then he goes.
I look around the room. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And then, you know, he leaves you and he goes over and starts talking to the bartender. And then him and the bartender go through a door in the back, leaving you in here. So, yeah, you're in here, and there are 4 other customers, and they're all sitting by themselves. One is at one end of the bar, another is at the other end of the bar, and 2 other guys are at individual tables in corners. Everyone seems to be hiding in the dark and just drinking their beer and staring at their phones.
Do all 4 appear to be men?
Yes, all 4 are men.
Okay. Can I do like an awareness check, or would it be awareness or investigation? I want to figure out whether anything strikes me as out of the ordinary here.
What is your awareness? 3, I believe?
That sounds right, yeah.
Okay. No, nothing strikes you out of the ordinary. And what is your insight? Because that's what it takes to actually read the people.
2.
2. Okay, so make me a wits and insight roll.
No modifier, right?
No modifier, no. Whoops, I messed up my page. Is that right?
Two successes.
Yep, 2 successes. So, no, pretty much you get the same description is what I already gave you. That's pretty much what 2 successes was. These guys they all seem beat up. They hate their life. If they have a wife and family, they don't want to go home and get yelled at. They hate their job. They hate everything. And the only thing that helps them get by is coming in here and drinking until it's time to go to sleep. Start it all over again.
Can I clearly see their drinks? Like, can I see what they're drinking?
Yeah, you can. A couple of them are drinking beers. A couple of them are drinking harder whiskeys or whatever.
Okay.
Nobody's
and,
drinking. No one is drinking anything fancy.
Does it look like? Can I see the actual liquid? Am I seeing like the bottle? It makes it like. Am I sure that it's not blood?
You're sure that none of them are drinking blood. They could still be ghouls, and they could still be kindred that have the ability to consume food.
Right. But I do actually see them drinking it and like
You
consuming.
do see all 4 of them are drinking it. Yes.
How long am I sitting in this position before the next thing happens? Because I'd be observing to see if anybody need to go to the restroom or whatever.
About 8 minutes, and nobody gets up to go to the restroom.
All right, then I just keep a low profile and so I order a drink.
There's no
and let's do
bartender right now. He went in the back. So you get ready to order, and then there's no bartender.
Yeah, so I just kind of like, I'll sit at the bar, and then just like sit there like I'm waiting for the bartender.
Okay, so
not trying
you
to
get
draw
up and
extra
go sit
attention.
down at the bar. Do you sit next to or close to either of the guys, or you go right in the middle in between them?
Let's say I sit. Can you just? Is there any real noticeable difference in these? I mean, for purposes of not slowing us up. All right.
No.
So I go. Let's just say I go 2 chairs away from the one on the right, thinking that I came from a table that makes it look not like unnatural. You know, like I don't. So,
all right. Yeah, you
sit
settle
there
in there, wait for the bartender.
and kind of just look around too, like look. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm looking for the bartender, so I'm not out of the ordinary. Yeah. And just wait.
Someone comes and sits right next to you, and it's not one of these 4 people. You didn't see where he came from. Just all of a sudden, there's movement next to you, and you look, and there's this skinny. Where's his description? He's very short, like he's like barely 5 feet, very thin, Hispanic man in maybe his 20s. It's hard to tell, considering how dirty he is. And he just plops right into the seat right next to you. So he's... What?
Is he in between me and the guy at the end of the bar? Or is
he's
on the other side.
On the other side. He didn't take the one of the spaces in between you, and he's right next to you. Like he didn't leave you like a comfort spot in between or anything. He just came and he sat right next to you, and he is covered in dirt and grime, like he's been living on the street. He smells like he's been living on the street, and he has around his neck a rope necklace that is tied to an old tin can of some kind. Its label has been removed. The tin can is open, and inside it looks like he has dirt in there. He just comes and he sits down right next to you, and he turns and he looks and he says, such a nice scent you have. And he holds out his hand, and his arm is so thin you could easily just break his wrist if you wanted to. And he holds out his hand. I am Cesar.
I'm gonna look down at his hand and kind of like, because he came in that way, kind of just look like I'm gonna give him what the fuck look like, and like I'm evaluating him, and I'm gonna say, the fuck.
I read fortunes. You want to have your fortune told?
I'm good, bro.
No, you want your
good, bro.
Cesar is good at telling fortunes.
Fam, can you back up a little bit though? You're real. I mean, this isn't cool, man. Just back up a little bit. I don't know you like that.
Okay. And he puts a seat to separate the 2 of you.
Okay. What's this dude behind me on the other side like doing? Is he even noticing us at this point?
He does look up. He looks up and he sees you guys. He just shakes his head and goes back to his drink.
Okay. So now I'll like kind of casually like turn back to this dude, and I'm gonna like kind of lean towards him, but like covering my nose a little bit. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
I saw you, and I thought you might like to have Cesar read your fortune. And then he takes the tin can that's dangling around his neck, and he dumps it onto the bar. And it is just a bunch of wet, gross dirt and mud with several huge fucking earthworms in it.
Oh hell no! That's what I'm just like. Oh hell no! I'm gonna walk away now. I'm gonna go toward a table, like away from the bar now, to the same table I was sitting at originally.
Okay. Where are you going?
And just sit down and keep my eyes. I'm not even responding to this dude. I'm just gonna go back over to that table and just sit down, like in a obviously like standoffish manner, and just like just look at him.
Okay. Well, his eyes track you as you walk away, and then he looks back and he pokes at the earthworms, and they kind of like do their earthworm jiggle, and he's just poking at them.
So what are the other people doing? They're not even looking at
Well,
him?
the one guy
Doing
who
this
is
weird shit?
the one guy who's only a few seats down is watching him with kind of this standoffish look, like what the fuck, but he doesn't say anything. And the other three don't even seem to notice because he's not close enough in their tight, small little world.
Gotcha. No, I'm not. I'm just chill. I'm just gonna sit at the table, just keep watching him, and see what the fuck. Nice.
Yeah, he's poking at him. She seems to be expertly studying the twists and turns of these worms in the dirt, and then he picks one up and he holds it and lets it dangle in front of him. And then he puts it back down, kind of covers it with the mud with his hands, like pulls the dirt and mud and puts it over it, and then he pokes it again through the mud. Oh,
I'm purposely looking more and more bored because I don't want to encourage him.
Okay. Oh, you should see this. And he pokes it. Oh, Cesar is so good at reading fortunes. And he pokes at the worms. You're missing out.
I am shaking my head at him, looking as unamused as possible.
Okay. And then a couple minutes later, he scoops it all back into the can. And he stands up.
Waiting for Enriquez.
Now Cesar knows all about you. And he points his bony finger right at Hector. All
right,
about you. And his mouth forms this tight but big Joker-style grin. All about you. What's that?
Now I'm actually going to say kind of loud.
Okay. What do you say?
Oh, sorry. I was going to cut him off. I was going to say kind of, you don't know shit about me, bro, you little fuck. You weird fucker. Shut the fuck up.
Now everybody turns and looks. All four of the guys.
Yeah.
Hey, man, what the hell's going on? Somebody says.
Hey, mind your business. This motherfucker's just being creepy. Shut the fuck up and keep drinking.
Yeah, there's no call for that kind of talk. And he drinks his...
Yeah, shut the fuck up and drink your goddamn beer.
When you look back to the skinny guy at the bar, he's gone.
Motherfucker. I say that out loud.
There is still some dirt and mud and worm slime residue on the bar. He was there, but he is gone. And then it suddenly occurs to you that you never saw the door open when he came in and sat next to you. No door opened.
Yeah, I'm like annoyed, but I'm not like, and I'm looking around, like creepy little motherfucker. I'm, like mumbling to myself, looking around to see if I can find him.
Enriquez and the bartender come back.
I mean, I've been through this before.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Wait, I've been through this situation before with the lady with the what's her name with the Bana Hakim sire.
Yeah, so you're gonna look
Right,
around
and I would
for
say,
any sign.
yeah. So I'm gonna look on the right because this dirty motherfucker's got to
Mhm.
be leaving footprints or whatever on the ground. So I'm gonna be like especially concentrating
Okay.
where I might
Yep.
have seen.
Make
shit
a
disturbed.
resolve and awareness roll.
This. And any kind of modifier because I've been through this or not?
Nope.
Resolve and awareness. You said right?
Yes.
It's too late to order some for tonight.
Say again?
No, I'm sorry.
Bam!
That was trying to be quiet.
Okay. Yep, messy critical. So I'm not even going to worry about the messy part because you did not need to make a roll. You cannot find him. He's not here.
Oh god.
So you could,
But
you
I'm
could
sure he's not,
still
or I'm
think
pretty
that
sure.
he is just absolutely badass at becoming invisible. You could think whatever, let Hector think whatever you think Hector will think. But metagaming, he is not here. So you can't find him.
No, now Hector's getting overconfident and he's starting to get that fucking hype type of like this is like pissing him off now. So now he's starting to think that one of these other fuckers in the bar is responsible for this. So the guy farthest away from the dude I was standing by is the guy I'm gonna walk up to now
Okay.
and say, "What the fuck, bro? Is that you? Are you fucking on my head?
What the hell are you talking about, man?
Are you Kindred, bitch?"
What the fuck is Kindred? I don't know what you're
Yeah, I'm gonna
talking
keep
about,
my-
bro.
I'm gonna
You
keep
want
my
a beer?
fucking eye
I'll
on
buy
you.
you. I'll buy you a beer, kid.
Nah, I don't want your fucking beer, bro. Just fucking. You know what? I want you to get the fuck out of here. Pick up your shit. You're done. Get the fuck out of here.
What the? I don't even know who you are, man.
Yeah, you know what? You're gonna know who I am. Get the fuck out of here right now.
All right, make an intimidation, and we're gonna go with charisma.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's try and be nice to him.
No, it's not necessarily nice. It's the power of personality.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, man. What? Yeah, and he stands up. He's not quite as big as you. He's definitely not as, big as you. But yeah, he's not cowering and he's not leaving, but he does look like he's on the verge of doing either. Or both.
Okay, I'm gonna grab his Adam's apple with my two fingers and walk him out the door, like hotel security style.
Okay,
I'm not
he
gonna do
does
this,
not
really
strike
violent.
you or anything, though he was trying to act like he would. And
Right.
yeah, and then as soon as you touch him, he kind of gives up, and yeah, you march his ass out.
I close the door and now I kind of just brush myself off, look at everybody else to see if they're looking at me. Are they making?
Yeah,
eye contact?
everybody's looking at you. Who the fuck is this kid, man? I don't know. He must be the owner's son or something. Yeah, he must be.
Yeah, I'm like directly making eye contact with them, and it's like, go. What the fuck you looking at? I'm gonna wait till they look away or go back.
Yeah,
to the
yeah. None of them want to stand up to you, so they just look away. Okay, so the back door opens, and Enriquez and the bartender come back out. And the bartender, he tells him, "Well, I'm sorry I couldn't help more." And then he goes over to the bar.
All right, I'm gonna march right up to Enriquez and kind of like pull him to the side, to the unoccupied corner, and
Okay.
it's like, hey man, some weird fucking shit's going on. Some fucking fuck pulls up next to me out of nowhere, just like appears out of thin air, starts talking about reading my fortune, like, earthworms on the pours a fucking tin of fucking can of dirt on the
Wait,
goddamn bar
you're
and starts fucking around with worms.
You're going too fast, kid. Slow down. Tell me what the fuck just happened.
Some little motherfucker just comes out of just appears out of fucking nowhere. I'm sitting at the bar, this dude's just like, and he stinks like high hell. He's wearing a tin can on a rope around his neck. It's got like dirt in it. This asshole starts talking about reading my fortune and then pours the dirt on the table. Real fucking weird, man. Starts playing with worms and then points at me and he says he knows my future now or some shit, and then just disappears. I mean, I thought it might be one of these other guys here, but I don't think so now. I think I fucked up a little bit. I kicked one of these guys out of here.
You kicked one of these guys out of here?
Yeah, I just told him to get lost. He's like creeping me out. I was just creeped out, bro. I don't know.
Well, that's You know, that's weird. We're gonna have to keep an eye on this place. I doesn't really read Sabat to me, but it definitely is something, and it could be. That's the best clue we have so
heard of
far.
some earthworm shit? Some motherfuckers putting dirt on the table and talking
No.
about reading fortunes?
No,
That's
I've
not
never
even
heard.
Santeria, bro. I never seen that shit. I don't know what the fuck
No,
that is. It freaked me out.
I don't know what the fuck that is. But if he's Malkavian, you know, Malkavians have some power to premonition, and you know, he could be confused or getting it through worm. I don't know.
Yeah, at first
And
I thought he was meth head or something. 'cause he was, like,
Sabat
real small and
Malkavians
skinny, but-
are some of the craziest motherfuckers you will ever meet. And they're dangerous. They can fuck with your head. He points at his head. They can fuck with your head. They go in there and they just fuck with stuff. Rip your memories apart. Rip your feelings apart till all you feel is torture and pain. Yeah. Sabat Malkavians
Would I
are
know?
nasty.
What could I tell if he was doing that to me, or like, is it?
I think
I don't know. I mean,
if
he
he
definitely
was
creeped me out, but no more so than usual.
If he was doing that, I don't know. I suppose it's possible. These other guys saw him. Hey!
Mm-hmm.
And he points over on one of the guys, and that guy looks up. You saw this guy that poured the dirt on the bar? Actually, then, as he points at the bar, he sees the dirt. And the guy says, yeah, he was there. And then he disregards that guy, and he goes over and looks at the dirt. Well, it wasn't all in your head.
I'll go over with him.
It definitely wasn't in your head. Look at
That's
this.
good to know.
Doesn't mean he wasn't some crazy Sabbath mock. And then your phone rings.
I'll look at it.
It is Miguel's number.
Hey, I'll pick it up. What's up, Miguel?
Hey, Hector. I'm just calling to let you know that Prince James wants to see you. Let me pull up the thing exactly. I don't remember it. Where'd it go? There it is. Wants to see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. at the El Paso Municipal Rose Garden in Memorial Park.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I won't even pencil him. I'll write it in pen.
All right, man. You do that.
That means I'll be there. I'll be there.
Okay. Yeah, don't be late. He doesn't appreciate... And, you know, that's a pretty general rule, actually, when dealing with all of these high-ranking kindred guys. When you're called, don't be late. I know it's kind of in your nature, but they don't like that shit.
Wait, is it my nature?
It's in your clan's nature.
Oh, really? To be late? Because as a fighter, my guy's gonna be very disciplined about that kind of shit. They were like,
Well,
"You're late,
not
you're running
necessarily to be late, but to be, rebellious. Like, do not
Oh, gotcha.
believe that this is a bad calling. I mean, Prince James is in a good mood. I think this is a good thing. Don't hold me to that. I don't know what's going on in his head, but it feels like it's a good thing.
Hey, I like Kim James. I trust him. I'll be there.
Okay. You have a good.
You want Enriquez there, or is it just me?
You're the only one summoned. I suppose Enriquez can come, but you're the only one summoned.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
At
Miguel.
least, at least you're the only one I was told to summon. He could be summoning Enriquez through someone. Actually, he's pretty close with Enriquez. He could be calling him himself. I don't know.
Okay. Well, thanks for letting me know. I'll be there.
All right. You have a good one, Hector.
All right. Thanks. You too.
Yep. He hangs up.
So I'll turn to Enriquez and, hey, that was Miguel. He's telling me Prince James wants to see me tomorrow. I asked about you. He said he had just asked for me. I don't know. But he said you could probably come if you want to.
We should be okay to let you go on your own. You know where the Rose Garden is? Well, I mean, you tell him that is the Rose. You tell him. Anyway.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah,
Miguel
it's
should
the
have.
road.
Miguel should have made sure you knew where that was, and then he would have told you.
No, but I'm from El Paso, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna, it is.
Okay. Well, I think we'll cut the scene here unless you have anything you want to ask Enriquez. He has no idea other than the possibility of it being a Sabbat Malkavian. And that's just based off of
So,
the...
well, when I was planning,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say when we finally walk outside the bar, unless if nothing else is happening inside the bar, I guess like one last time I'll kind of hang back a little bit by the door and just kind of say out loud, "Are you still out here, you little fuck?"
Yeah, and Enrique stops and like he's completely paying attention to the surroundings, trying to hear if a twig breaks or anything. Neither of you guys pick up anything because you can roll if you want, but he's not here, so you won't have success.
Out of character, I may have blown an opportunity, but I had to kind of.
No, it's fine. I wanted this weird ass thing to happen. So, okay. And next we do Jessica. Jessica's still here? You didn't fall asleep yet?
No, that nap really did help.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Okay. So, it's the same. It's been, the very next night, Aaron Hopkins came to collect you, and the Anarchs were quite defendant of you, protective of you. They didn't want you to go with him unless you wanted to go. But you agreed because, well, let's face it, you're kind of confused and there are things you need to learn, and he's the only one that might know.
Right.
So, that first night that you spend with him, he is the very calm, fatherly sire that you never expected him to be at all. He is 100% perfect sire. He sneaks you into an abandoned old military section. Do you know where Old Beaumont is on Fred Wilson?
Not quite, but
Okay.
I know it's there.
Yeah, that's where he takes you. He sneaks you in, and while you guys are sneaking in, he mentions that it might be beneficial for you to learn the obfuscate discipline, which is one of the disciplines inherent to your clan. So if you want to learn that, he can help you learn it.
Okay.
So you can make that decision now. If you want to learn it, it'll cost you 5 experience, and over the next few days, he helps you master that.
I was trying to remember what else I was trying to get, but I think I decided that I did want that.
Okay. Let's jump back to Hector real quick. Hector, when you learned obfuscate, how much did you pay for it? Did you disappear? I think I might have
I
told
was
you.
looking by accident. You told me 5.
Yeah, it should be 7 because it's an outside of clan
7.
discipline.
Okay.
In clan disciplines are 5 per dot, and outside clan disciplines are 7. Yeah, when I told her 5, I was like, wait a minute, that sounds like what I told Sirius Jessica. Okay.
Right, so I'm down to 3 now.
Yeah. All right, so back to Jessica. So, did you want to learn it?
Yes.
Okay. So,
There goes all my points. Well, not all of them, but a good bit of it.
you'll spend the next few nights. He helps you, and if you want to, he offers you just a little taste of his blood, not enough to blood bond you, and it may help propel the power forward. But since it is an in-clan discipline, you don't need that, and the power is already there in your blood. You just have to find the triggers of it, and I'll help you do that. But it may help to give that little boost to my blood in your veins, if you want to. But if you don't want to risk it, I understand. And I certainly don't want to blood bond you. I hate the blood bond. In fact, that's why I created the Jeremy. Because I'm not gonna make a ghoul. I'm not gonna make a ghoul ever. But we can talk about that later. Anyway, if the power's already in you, but if you want to give it a quick little jump start, just take a taste. And he offers you his wrist. Just a taste, or you'll develop the bond again.
Okay.
Do you take a taste or no? It has no mechanical factor, one way or the other.
No, I just take a taste.
Okay. All right. Well, for 5 experience, you learn either the ability to make yourself completely silent or the ability to make yourself completely invisible as long as you don't move.
Invisible.
Okay. I forgot what that's called. You can ask Lynn. Well, it's on our chart. Cloak of Shadows?
Yeah.
I think it might be Cloak of Shadows. It is Cloak of Shadows. I'm so smart. Okay, so yeah, so you now have 1 point of Obfuscate and the Cloak of Shadows power. Standing perfectly still, the user blends into the surroundings as long as they have some kind of cover, make no sound, and don't move. Only mechanical or supernatural means can detect them. Okay.
Cloak of Shadows.
Yeah. So
Putting it there.
he takes you to his haven, which I wrote it. Let's see. Snuck into the abandoned military area. This Old Beaumont is what he calls it. And you go into an old, it looks like it was a barracks, but it's been, it's all falling apart. You don't want to come up here to the top during the day because the windows are all open, and they were boarded up, but it was so long ago that the boards are coming loose. The building is completely condemned. And he, despite the fact that it looks like a barracks, he tells you that this was the old army hospital before they built the new one. And he pulls out a flashlight once you guys get inside. And he takes you to what is basically a trap door in the floor. And he opens it up and shines the light down there. And there is a ladder that goes down into it. After you, my dear. Oh, you don't
Okay.
trust me yet? He
I'm in.
starts going. Okay, you go. Yeah. So once he's inside, he closes the trapdoor, and it has a padlock on the inside that he locks. And you go down, and then there's a long hallway of just concrete. And there's a door, and he opens up that door. And you are like underground in a basement of concrete, not brick. Concrete walls, concrete ceiling, concrete floor. And it's just it would have been just an empty space, but it has been designed as a home. There's a couch, there's like lamps and tables, and it looks like it was made to be a home, and it has a very 60s feel to it. The design, the lamps, the sofas, the chairs, everything has a very 60s feel to it. And as you start to you get to know the place, in the back is another room that he refers to as the study, and it has shelves upon shelves upon shelves of books. Some of them are fiction, but a great deal of them are books on psychology. Psychology, sociology, and philosophy. And after you spend, once you're comfortable over the next few days, once you spend a few hours in his study looking at his books, it's quite obvious that he has a particular fondness for fears, and paranoia. Many of the books are focusing on this. These books, some of them are college level textbooks, some of them are, books that were just published by either by people just talking like they have knowledge, and others by like professional doctors and stuff who published works. And they're from from all ages. He has a book collection from hundreds of years. A couple of them seem to be prized collections and are kind of shown off in a spot in the study. So that's
This is
pretty.
quite the collection.
Well, thank you. So another thing to bring up as we skip over a few days, every single night when he wakes up, he has a different personality. He's still the same guy. He's, it's not like his persona changed where he thinks he's somebody else. What changed was his level of confidence, the way he carries himself and the way he talks. So the next day, he seems to be Mr. Bossy. And, maybe it would have been more of a surprise if you hadn't already heard people talking about this. All right, so the scene that we open.
You interact with things.
Yeah. And he's been talking to you a lot about your premonition power, which is one of the main things that you wanted to talk to him about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he's trying to teach you right now, is how to activate your premonition on purpose, because so far you've only ever tapped into it on accident.
Right.
So he's trying to teach you to premonition things on purpose. So he has you sitting down on a sofa, and he is sitting down on another sofa across from you. And he has animal flashcards, like you would use to teach little kids what an animal, different animals and, how to spell their names. And he's holding up a flashcard with the reverse side to you. Tell me what the animal is on this card. And actually, I should have brought it up already. Today, he's a very quiet, very mousy kind of person. He's not very loud, and he seems to always want to be hiding. And he also seems to be very alert to the exits and entrances of the room.
Okay.
So, where's our premonition and what your actual role is supposed to be? Premonition.
Premonition.
Resolve plus aspects.
Okay. Yeah, this says resolve plus discipline on my thing that you did.
Yep. The discipline is aspects. Yes.
Oh, duh. Hello. I'm good. Alright, no modifier.
No modifier now.
So, 5.
Critical hit. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I've spent 3 weeks trying to decide how to give you clues on these different animals that are on these fucking cards. And you get a critical success. So, yeah, you're staring at it. And he tells you, close your eyes, focus, try to see the card. And what you see is an alligator. Clear as day. Just right there in your, in the theater of your mind. You see an alligator.
So, alligator.
Oh, well, this is going to be easy. And he puts the card down, and you see the exact image of the alligator that is on the card was the exact position and pose that the alligator in your head was in. You envisioned the exact picture that was on that card. It's not supposed to be that easy. You're supposed to get, like, bits and clues and stuff. That's what he says. How about this one? And he holds up another. Three successes.
How many do I need to... I need 3 to succeed?
Well, I didn't. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you what happens. Now,
Okay.
you can use willpower to re-roll 2 of those if you want. I'm not going to tell you what you need to succeed.
I'll save my willpower for later.
Okay. So you have 3 successes. So, yeah, this is definitely harder. You're studying it, and he's holding it up. You know, a couple of minutes go by. You see the color gray. And, you know, that... And you keep studying it. Just keep focusing. Don't let your focus fade. And then you see...
Okay.
What? You see a big chest, a trunk. And the trunk opens up. And inside there's nothing.
I'm gonna say elephant.
And he puts the card down. Elephant.
That
Look at that.
wasn't so easy.
Wasn't very hard, was it?
Yeah, that one was a little harder.
Okay, and he pulls out another card. What animal is it? Go ahead and roll again.
Okay. That's fine. I'll do willpower just to bump it up.
What'd you get?
3.
You got 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so... Are you going to use willpower or no? Did you say you wanted to?
Yeah, I'll use it. I can
Okay.
roll up to 3.
Yep. Well, you can roll the 2 that you failed. You only have 2 that failed.
Okay. That's it.
Damn! So, now you have 7. And it's a critical success.
Okay.
So, you see a tiger.
So, tiger.
Damn, you're better at this than I am. And he puts down and shows you the tiger. And once again, you see the tiger in the exact pose that you saw. Although in your head, the tiger had a clearer picture than it does on the card.
Interesting.
Like, you saw a real tiger, and this is a photograph of a tiger. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you're better at this than I am. But just because you can take a look at what's on the other side of a card doesn't mean you don't need practice. So the real point of using premonition is when you come to a crossroads to decide what way to go, or you're lost and you don't know where to go and you need to pick a random spot on a map. You know, any number of things you can use premonition to help you find the answer. So the best thing you can do is use it. But when you're trying to do something more complicated than see an animal on the other side of an animal flashcard, it's going to cost you blood. You have to arouse the blood to do it.
Okay.
But that's only, you know, with practice.
Can I use this to see intent? That'd be something that would rouse my blood, right?
Yeah, what did you ask? To see in what?
To see intent.
To see intents?
Intent. INTENT. Like if I want to know what they really intend by what they're trying to do.
Yes, you certainly
that would have
can.
come in very handy a few times.
You certainly can. Most of the time, you will not get anywhere near as clear a picture as, you know, trying to guess an animal off of an animal flashcard. But you'll get, you know, you'll get a sense for clues. But it's
so practice it.
Now that you've learned to trigger this part of your blood, the only way you'll get better is by using it. Use it whenever you can. Yeah, and before we break scene, is there anything else that you want to talk to him about?
I was under the understanding that we can actually sense and modify blood bonds. I think
okay. That's a subject he's going to have to bring up with you. is
Okay.
your lore sheet. Because it's, you know, I don't think you... Did you hear from somebody about that? If you heard from somebody about that, but I don't think you did.
Probably not, no. So it's more along the lines is not, so maybe I should reword this.
This could
So
be
how
some,
about-
yeah, just during the, you know, during these 5 days, he talks to you about being a
Okay.
descendant of Vasantasena. I don't know how to say that. And her Malkavian sire, Unmada. And she tells you that you are descended from Vasantasena. However I decide to say that will be how we say it. Vasantasena. Okay. So yeah, and he'll talk to you a little bit about what that means. It means that they preached against the blood bond, and it's more than just preaching. If you're anything like him, your blood hates the blood bond, and not just receiving it, but even giving it out. And he tells you a story about how when he was young and he made a ghoul, and the ghoul's addiction to him was, you know, it broke his heart. How he had taken this man's free will so easily, without any work, and he had no resistance or defense to it whatsoever. And he swore that he would never blood bond anyone. And then he goes into how he never made a child before, but he was just so angry at how you had stolen Jeremy from him after 3 years of work to create his own version of a ghoul, that he couldn't help himself. And if you look back and you remember the personality that he was, the night that he made you, was pompous and arrogance. That's who he was that night.
He was really panicked.
He was not this mousy, quiet, constantly alert little man, nor was he the perfect sire father. No, he was pompous, arrogant son of a bitch who was pissed off that you had stolen from him. That's who he was. So yeah, you know, and he talks to you about that, so yeah, you get your lore sheet open. You probably shouldn't buy anything until later, because, you know, it takes...
Oh, I love.
Yeah. But yeah, so now you realize, you know that you are a descendant of Vasantasena, and you know what that means. He also talks to you about how he is the only Malkavian in the city, that the Camarilla don't really want him around, but they haven't chased him off. And then he also talks to you about how if you want to join the Anarchs, he will as well, as long as they'll take him. Because the...
Does he want to be part of the Anarchs? Or is
No,
he
he
just
wants to
wanting
be part of the Camarilla, but since the Camarilla isn't really offering him anything, if you want to join the Anarchs, he will, or at least he'll try.
Okay.
So the more you get to know him, the more, you know, the less the villain that he seemed to be that first night. But on the same token, every day he's a different person. Some days he's just angry. Some days he's quiet and afraid. But every day he is fascinated by fear, fears, and paranoia. You get a phone call. Actually, you get a text. You get a text first from Mila.
Okay.
Mila said, has Miguel contacted you or something like that? What did Mila say?
Not,
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, did you get, or did Miguel contact you to meet up tomorrow at 9?
so I haven't gotten the phone call, so I'll just say no, not yet.
As you're typing that in, you get a phone call.
Okay. So, hello?
Yes, Jessica, this is Miguel.
Hello.
I just wanted to let you know that Prince James has summoned you to meet him tomorrow night at 9 p.m. at the El Paso Municipal Rose Garden in Memorial Park. You know where that?
I'll be there.
You know where that is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll let him know that you'll be there, and try not to be late. It's a general rule in dealing with all of these high up kindred is, try not to be late. Anything you can do to kiss their ass is always a bonus.
Okay, thank you.
And he hangs up. Okay.
So I message, I modify my message and let her know I just got the call.
Okay.
And ask her if she wants to meet up beforehand, or if we're just going to meet there.
Mila gets a text.
We can meet up beforehand.
Okay.
I don't know where.
Okay. Anything else that you actually want to talk to Aaron about before we leave your scene?
Oh, just nothing specific.
Okay.
Just more getting to know him as a person, so to speak.
The more time you spend with him, the more you get to know him, and the more he teaches you what it means to be a Malkavian. And he does kind of talk about being a Malkavian in a shameful way. He doesn't seem to be very proud of it. He talks about the clan weakness. He talks about how he never knows who he's going to be every night when he wakes up. He doesn't know if he's going to be confident or if he's going to be shy. He doesn't know. And that's, it's kind of his fear that he can't, sometimes he's scheduled to go do something and then he wakes up on the night when it's something important that he's supposed to do, and he is a complete introvert and wants nothing to do with anybody. But he still is required to go sometimes, and it's horrible. Other times, it's the opposite. He needs to be around people, and he had planned to spend the whole night in his study learning something. So he kind of hates that about himself, and he asks you how the clan weakness has been affecting you, or if you've even noticed yet.
I haven't really noticed too much. I've been leery about going into people's houses without being invited, which I thought was odd.
That's interesting. Actually, my sire had that problem. Like these vampire stories that you read about, where he could not bring himself to enter into a home if he wasn't invited by the mortal that lived there. I don't have that problem, but my sire did. So maybe that's rubbed off on you somehow. Interesting. We're going to have to experiment with that.
Okay.
Now that you have some obfuscate, it'll be easy to experiment with that.
Well, yes. Please. I'm going to try lots of stuff. So, I have a question.
Okay.
This whole getting from a drop of blood stuff, does the intent have to be there on the person who drops the blood?
For what?
For helping,
learn a
like,
discipline?
for example, yeah.
No, it does not. You can take it. You can learn disciplines by taking the blood from another kindred.
So my first night after they...
Oh, I'm sorry? What was the question?
Well, no, I said after they kicked you out, James let me drink from him.
Okay.
Would it be possible, like,
if he didn't put it in the blood and you didn't take it from the blood, then no, it probably didn't happen.
Okay.
Unless you feel yourself. The Toreador, their 3 disciplines are domination, which is our ability to affect people's minds. Presence, which is their ability to make themselves larger than life in social situations. And celerity, which is their ability to act with a supernatural speed. So those are their 3 clan disciplines. If you didn't pick up any of those from him, then I imagine he didn't give it to you and you didn't take it. What'd you ask?
So I would have known right away.
It should have been showing itself by now. But he would have had to give it to you because you had no idea that you could take it.
So now that I know I can take it, is it... Now you said something, you were going to say something about stealing.
Okay, so stealing another kindred's discipline, like what you're talking about doing. If you take a secret discipline from one of these clans that really guard them, they may destroy you for it. So you need to be careful.
Oh, yes, it can be done, but I need to not be so blasé about it.
Right. And they'll know that you took it.
Okay.
They'll know that you took it. They'll feel the presence of the discipline pass through the bite, through the kiss. So, as a general rule, unless you're going to diablerize someone, you should be learning. You should only be learning a new discipline from someone who's willing to give it to you.
Diablerie?
Okay, diablerie. You haven't learned what diablerie is? I'm not sure I should even teach you. You're a nice girl. I guess I could teach you. So, diablerie is when a kindred drains another kindred all the way and absorbs their very soul into them. You take the other kindred's power and you can take their discipline, you can take some of their blood potency, and you can raise your generation. Make yourself more powerful.
Okay.
So this, by the way, is something that was also taught to Mila over the last 5 days. Diablerie. And not only does she teach you that the Camarilla has outlawed diablerie, that the Tremere had cast a curse on the Assamites, on the Banu Hakim, for 500 years, 400 years, that they couldn't even feed from other kindred. But a lot of the warrior clan had found ways around that. And now that curse has been lifted. And though it is illegal to feed from another kindred, so you never want to do it to a Camarilla unless they have a blood hunt issued on them. It is our right, Mahira tells Mila. It is our right to absorb and take the power for ourselves from the infernals, from the Bali.
Okay. But what I did is not that, right?
What?
Because I didn't take that.
You did not diablerize him. You took all of his blood and then you started feeling his soul drifting to you, and you stopped. You
I
could
stopped.
have took it.
Right. Okay.
You could have took it, and you could have learned without experience spending. You could have learned the flesh mending power that Rodrigo is using to create his pile of ghouls.
Very cool.
Not that power specifically though, but the beginning of it. Anybody with auspex, who can read your aura, also can see that you have diablerized somebody. So they all think that you suck. So
Okay. So she would be able to see that? Jessica would?
maybe. I don't think Jessica can read auras yet.
I'm not there yet.
Okay. Did anybody think of anything they wanted to talk to their sire about? Except for Jack, who didn't actually get face-to-face with his. You were on the phone, though, so if there's anything you wanted to talk about. Before
I'm
we,
good.
okay. Then we're going to go forward to the next night and you guys' meeting. So Mila and Jessica meet up first. Is there anything that you guys want to do that is relevant?
Other than, I might ask her, like, hey, how's it been with your sire?
It's been interesting. He's not as much of a whack job as they make him out to be.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's a relief.
Yeah, definitely.
How about yours?
That's been good too, actually. She's intense, but I'm learning a lot.
Oh, did Mila ever talk to her about why she doesn't wear her, whatever it's called? Her thing? Her hijab? Or did you just notice that she only wore it to meet you? Mila? Lynn?
I didn't want it. Mila?
Crap, I didn't know I was talking to you. I didn't know it was muted. I said, honestly, she probably doesn't really care.
Okay, so you didn't talk to her about it.
No, unless she openly, like, talks
No,
about
she
it.
didn't. She didn't.
Okay, and no.
Oh, also, since you started with... Okay, so after our scenes, you guys all went out hunting, and I reset your blood for the next day. She helped, or, watched anyway, as you hunted and killed somebody. She went with you.
Okay.
So, should all of our hungers be at 1?
Yeah. Not you, because I wasn't sure what you did.
Okay.
So, that's up to you if you're going to go out and feed somewhere. I mean, you could tell them you're going for a walk and go... I don't know what you were going to do, so I didn't reset you.
I don't know if Jack would have a good idea of how he would want to try to feed on the way to the meeting, which might be what he does.
Yeah.
So I think he'll just leave his hunger at 2 right now.
Okay.
Let's say he avoided feeding at all, really, because he's really just trying to, like...
Yeah, you were trying to be human for a few days. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you guys all meet at the Rose Garden. It is, of course, winter, so the Rose Garden is very much not very impressive. And you weren't expecting it to be impressive because it is like late December. It's just a couple of days after Christmas. So you guys, does anybody get there early?
I'd say Jack would have been there early.
Okay.
I would have made a point to get there early too.
Okay.
I mean, some there.
Because we met up early anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you did. Okay. Anyway, you guys all, you know whether you got... I imagine... Yeah, you guys probably all got there a little bit early. So you guys are all there, and you're waiting. And, you're like waiting in the parking lot. There are guards everywhere, armed guards. Like, in black suits with, you spot a couple of them actually have, like, assault rifles, but most of them have, they're like normal armed guards. In a suit with a sidearm. But there are armed guards, like a dozen of them, walking all over the park. And then you see a man in a black suit start walking towards you guys. He's got silver gray hair. And as he gets closer, you recognize Perry, who was the guy who had Prince James in the water heater tank.
Oh.
The guy that was gonna die?
Yeah.
And now he looks younger?
No,
well,
he
not
does.
younger. He
Okay.
looks stabilized?
He looks stable. He looks like he is he's revived. He seems healthy. He's a very attractive silver fox in his late
I did
50s.
to nod to...
Yeah, late 50s, early
never.
60s or so, and he looks strong and healthy.
Well, good for him.
Change of art, Perry?
Well,
yeah, you're looking better.
thank you guys. Yeah, and he looks at Jack and says, "Yeah, it's when Prince James came to see me again, it's very hard to resist. It's very hard to resist, and
Oh, Hector just saw him and just breaks in the middle like, "Hey, Perry!" Gives him a big hand clap and a man hug.
yeah. Hey there. Hey, Hector.
I'm glad to see you, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel pretty good. And all the
I'm glad you decided to stick around.
all the creaks and aches and pains are gone. Kind of feel like my old self. And he runs his fingers through his silver hair, and he says, and I actually have this distinguished look now. I kind of like it.
You look like a grandpa, but it suits you, man.
Thank you. I didn't get here very...
I'm fucking with him. I'm like giving him like a...
He's not really
like in a good
taking
way.
it as you're fucking with him. He's taking it serious.
Yeah.
Like, he
You
thought
look
it
like
was...
a cool grandpa.
Yeah. Okay. So, Prince James is this way. Come on. And he leads you guys through pretty much the sleeping rose garden. And this is an outdoor rose garden. And you go up a little hill, and you see Prince James is down on a knee. And he is, he's kind of like petting a rose bush that's asleep. He's just touching it, poking at it. And Perry, once you guys see him, then Perry backs out and leaves you guys there with him.
Alright, I'll walk up and I'll just give everybody an idea of Jack's personality right now. He's seems just a little despondent or depressed, maybe. Basically because he just doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
He didn't like having to leave.
And he looks up and he sees you guys. Hey! And he waves with his hand. And he looks back at the rose bush and he says, "Look at it. It's in torpor. Just like I was. Alone and vulnerable." And then he stands up and turns around and faces you guys.
It is good to see you in good spirits, sir. And I'll give a little bow.
Thank you. You've all done me a great service. And I don't like being in debt. So I want to do what I can to repay you for this service. And to start with, you guys have all been skirting the line between the Anarchs and the Camarilla. And if you want to continue doing that, you can. Just make sure you realize this is one of very, very few cities across the entire world where you can do that. And that's pretty much only because Valentina and I have such a good relationship that I trust her. And I know she's not trying to overpower us. But if any of you officially want to join the Camarilla, and keep in mind that fledglings of your age are never offered this, but I will accept you into the Camarilla. You've all shown yourself to be exceptional kindred that can be depended upon. So if you want to join the Camarilla, that door is open for you.
It's a very generous offer. What, if you don't mind, what comes with being able to join the Camarilla? Are there certain freedoms that are offered?
Well, you get the backing of the Camarilla and the clans. You get the protection. You'll have a territory assigned to you, or at least you'll join a coterie that has a territory. So you'll have your own hunting ground. And you'll have some responsibility. And in the case of your clan, you may very well get yourself blood bonded to Goldman. Or at least to Miguel, since he's your sire. The Ventru are pretty big on blood bond. The Camarilla is actually pretty big on the blood bond. It's how we, it's really how we ensure loyalty. How we make sure that the young are following the responsibilities, not making a fool out of themselves.
See.
So joining the Camarilla comes with responsibilities as well as rewards. So, and like I said, in my city, with Valentina running the Anarchs, it is okay with me if you guys decide to just skirt the line between us.
This may be forward, but if I joined, does that open up the possibility of turning my wife into a ghoul? I don't know if I want to do this or not, but just to know if it's a possibility.
You don't need permission from the prince to make a ghoul. And I don't believe in Goldman's Ventru you need his permission to make a ghoul. You do need my permission to make her kindred. And I would very much suggest you not do that for at least a few years. Make sure you realize what it means.
I already realize what it means now. If I do that.
Well, you still don't. You might think you do. And you're starting to have more understanding of it, but you still don't. I don't suggest anyone make an embrace for at least 20 years.
It's not my intention to ever make her kindred. She has to be able to take care of my family. I just am hopeful that I can actually let her know what's happening. And then we can stay together. It's either that or...
You know, I understand what you're talking about. In fact, when I was embraced, I ghouled my best friend. Because I didn't want to leave him behind. You have to understand what making a thrall does. They become addicted to you. You'll never know if she loves you for who you are, because that doesn't even matter anymore. she becomes addicted to the vitae that you give her. She won't have her own free will. She will be your slave. She will be your servant. How much of that you take advantage of is up to you, but she will be your slave.
I'll have to think on it.
You are not the first one to have this issue, this problem. And I wasn't in love as a mortal, so I can't. The closest thing I have to relate to is that I brought my best friend with me. But you'll find others. You can talk to them and try and, work off of their knowledge. Others who were embraced, who either left their family behind or brought them with them.
Just to be clear, Prince James, what you're saying is like, if you take away, you have the ability to take away their free will, but you don't have to, right?
No, the blood bond will take their free will. The blood bond will make them addicted to you. They'll do everything they can to serve you, everything to please you, because they want their next fix, just like a drug addict. They will be addicted to your vitae and the power that they get out of it.
But I mean, like, let's say their favorite color is green, and they know your favorite color is red. Are they going to make their favorite color red, even if you tell them that's not important to you?
They could. They very well could. That's kind of a personality issue. It's not every time.
Because, like, I look at Perry, and he seems to be his own person. Right? Like, he's got his own personality. It's not like he's just a robot that follows you around.
He glances up at Perry. Who has insight of, I don't know, 4?
I have an insight of
Of how much? I didn't hear you.
3.
3?
Might be 3 too. Let me.
Jessica might have 4.
I'm 3.
You're 3?
Let me double. Inside. Oh, I have 4 inside.
You have 4 insight? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So after when he says that, and he glances up and looks over at Perry, and you can see a hint of sadness and guilt in Prince James's face. Maybe Perry did not decide to stay a ghoul.
Oh, like now? Huh.
Okay.
Only Mila came with that guess.
I'll share it later.
And you don't know if that's what it was for sure. All you know is that
Right.
there was
But there's a lot of
there was some guilt and sadness to him as he looked up. Okay, well, enough of this talk. Like I said, if any of you want to join the Camarilla, that door's open. Now, outside of that reward, I want to offer you each something on an individual basis. Jack, I have an idea of something I can give you that I think would make us even. I don't know if I can return you to the Force, but I can 100% get new identities for you and your entire family so you can return to the city. But as far as returning to the Force at this time, I don't know. If I have you reinstated with the name you bear now, the Sabbat will know. If we change your name, give you a new identity, and have you reinstated, you'll be recognized by others. So the question is, how much do you need to be a police detective? How much do you even need to be part of the Kind's world? Maybe you want to be a private detective. Maybe you want to keep your nose out of the Kind's world until all of your coworkers retire out, and then we can put you back in. But at the very least, I can get new identities for you and your family, so you and they can return to the world and not have to worry about the Sabbat.
If I became a private detective or anything like that, is there any way I could work for you and then receive some form of payment, like a salary, so I can still support my family?
Yes, we can do that. Yes. Also, if you want to work for me, perhaps you can be my own investigator, and you'll do a lot of investigating on the side with my sheriff, the Rat King. And I can give you a wage.
I joined the police force because I wanted to protect people, because I wanted to serve my community, and because it's something that my family's done before.
Mm-hmm.
Long history. But family comes first, and they need to return to a sense of normalcy. Career, though it's important to me, is not more important than them. So I'll take you up on your offer for new identities.
And in perhaps 20 or 30 years, once most of your coworkers have retired, or at least forgotten your face, maybe we can get you back in if that's still what you want. Or perhaps you'll prefer being a private investigator for me.
For now, I'll be a private investigator for you, and then we can go in a different direction maybe in the future.
Okay.
Wait, does he need to join the Camarilla to do that?
In a normal city, he would. Here, no. I'll be okay. Without him being part of the Camarilla, he may not get a title as Hound of the Sheriff. In which case, he may not be doing much with the Sheriff. He may be doing more with me.
This is something we can talk more later, but I'm very grateful for what you're doing for me.
Okay.
So,
Spider
Spider
will get to you with new identities for you and your entire family.
Thank you. I must say, before we address investigations or anything like that, though, this is all assuming that the war goes the way that we need it to.
If you become an investigator for me, as an investigator for me, I believe a lot of your cases are going to be helping me track down and find the Sabbat in this city. Not necessarily engaging them, but finding them.
Okay. They're a danger to everyone.
They are.
Just kill and destroy more so than others of our kind. So I can continue to serve my community in the shadows, working for you, protecting it from them.
Yes. That's a very good way to think of it. Yes. Yeah, I like this idea. Do you have any well, I mean, I'll have Spider get to you. I don't know if he has to choose your names from a small pool or if you can choose your... I'll have Spider contact
you. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Jessica.
Yes, sir.
My offer for you is quite similar. I can have Spider get you new identities so you can rejoin the world of the kind if that's what you wish, without having to worry about the... It's like starting over. The Sabbat won't know who you are. But that does not return Jessica Warren to her job. We have no way to protect you from this Sabbat as Jessica Warren. So the question is, how much do you feel you need to continue your job working with the kind? Working with the mortals?
It's what really grounds me and helps me maintain my humanity.
Okay.
If I wasn't working with and helping people, I think I would lose myself.
Do you need to do it in the same capacity you were doing it before? What if I were to pay you and you were to assist the poor? Or we can get you a completely new identity, start you with a new office. You'll have
I mean,
to
I don't
avoid
mind. No, I'm perfectly.
You're perfectly what?
Well, there's one client I want to keep tabs on. Actually, a couple clients I want to keep tabs on. Because one of them was the reason why I am Kindred now.
Well, changing your name, I suppose you could tell them, you could feed him some kind of a witness protection story. Use your new identity.
You could say one of your other clients is it got dangerous.
Mm-hmm. And that you want to continue seeing him. If you trust him to hold your identity. I could set you up with multiple identities in multiple offices as well. If, however, you want to continue. I just don't think you should go back to work as Jessica Warren. The Sabbat have already unlocked that name, and as soon as you go back to work, I don't think it will be safe.
Alright, then I'll get a new name.
Okay. And a new office. Try to avoid most of your previous patients.
I do like the idea of being able to help people who can't afford their own care, though.
That's good. That's good. I like that too. I like to take care of the misfortunate as much as I can. They're the backbone of our city. The immigrants who are struggling and have other people taking advantage of them. That's what makes our city beautiful. It's the melting pot of different people. There are so many different cultures. So many. The southern white Americans, the liberal Americans, the military and ex-military of all over from the country, the Hispanic culture, the German culture, the Korean culture. We are such a melting pot of so many different people, and so many of them have people that are struggling. That's our beauty. And while the Ventru want to take advantage of them, I prefer to see the beauty in all things. Okay.
Okay, I can live with that.
I'll have Spider get to you, and the same is with Jack. I don't know how he does it. I don't know if he has a pool of names for you to select from, or if he just has to assign you something, or if you can... I don't know how it works.
Okay.
Back in my day, all we had to do to become a new person was tell people we were a new person. But you go to a new town and you tell them your name is Bob, and now you're Bob.
Right.
Okay. Mila.
You made quite the gunslinger, by the way.
I was in my time. I missed out on so many duels because they wanted to duel at noon.
Oh man. Yeah. That would suck.
I love duels. Duels were always my thing. I loved them. I studied them. The art of the duel, the laws behind the duels from hundreds of years ago, all the way through, well, through my time. In the new century. And he says that, the new century, like he's completely forgetting there's another new century now. In the new century, it stopped. They stopped that dueling. Mila, I really don't know what to offer you.
Yeah, I don't need much. Yeah, I don't really need much, honestly. I wouldn't mind a place of my own to stay.
A place among the kind or a haven?
Oh, it doesn't... I guess it doesn't matter, just because right now I just... Like, I spent a while with living with Jessica, and then we were staying, with the Anarchs, so I've been kind of just vegging off of people, I guess.
Well, I hear right now you're staying with Mahira.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
When she lets you go, I can help you find a haven.
Okay. Other than that, I don't really need anything.
And I guess I still owe you a boon.
A boon?
Yes. You haven't learned about boons? So a boon... boons come in multiple sizes. Major boons, minor boons. And these are favors. The kindred work in favors like the mortals work in money.
Oh, yeah. He did tell me about that. Mm-hmm.
So, I owe you a major boon. When you need something, come to me. And this will not be from the Camarilla, this will be from me on a personal level.
Okay. Sounds good. And right now, as far as my hunting, I keep it the same as it was before everything happened.
Yes.
Oh,
come to me with the information you've collected. Or if for some reason you can't find me, go to the Rat King.
Okay. Will do.
I've already made sure the Rat King knows your hunting style and that he is to okay your hunt.
Okay.
But I prefer you actually come to me than to him.
Oh. Okay.
I have more knowledge of the goings-on of the city, just in case your chosen target is someone I'm using for something.
Okay. Yeah.
That's actually not true, but he believes he has more information than the fucking one of the Nosferatu bosses. He is wrong.
Well, obviously he's wrong, so he got ambushed.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, true.
Okay. And Hector. Once again, I really don't know what to offer you. Do you have any suggestions? Anything you need? Do you need a new identity so you can return to the world? I'm not sure you do.
Oh, I thought of one more thing when you're done with him.
Okay. What can I do for you?
I don't know right now. As far as everybody's concerned, I'm gone anyway. No, I can't think of anything. I mean, you could hold the favor, Prince, if you want. I would have just told you, me as a human, you my homie, and I'm there I got the homies back. So if you need me for something, I got you all the time anyway. It's not a thing, but
I do
I'm trying to
appreciate
learn how
that, but
this
I still owe
currency
you a
works.
boon. I still owe you a boon. So when you need something, make sure you come to me.
That's what homies do for each other, Prince. You seen Young Guns?
I did. He gives a big smile on his
Pals.
face. I did see Young Guns.
Pals.
I loved that movie. We had Billy the Kid here. Did you know that? It was before I came.
Nah.
They had Billy the Kid in jail here, and he escaped.
Nice. What was he like in real life?
I never met him. It was before I was Prince here. I would have liked to have gone to see him, and I wasn't here yet. I didn't come until the railroad came to the city. There was no Prince here until when the railroad came. Then the Camarilla took notice, and several of us were sent from different clans, and I was successful in uniting the clans under me.
I do have a question for you.
Yes.
So you said you wouldn't mind if we kind of toed the line between the Anarchs and the Camarilla.
I don't mind, no.
I'll tell you,
Enriquez does that.
I'm not really into this. Isn't he an Anarch?
He is, but just like Valentina is, they answer my call when it's time for war.
Okay. All right, so you don't mind. That was my question. You don't actually mind if we actually join the Anarchs?
Not if you're willing to fight along our side when it comes to war.
Like I said, Prince, pals, but I'm not really into this blood bond thing, so I don't see myself joining the Camarilla.
The Bruja aren't particularly very big on the blood bond. That's not to say Vincent doesn't have anybody blood. Oh, he certainly has mortals blood bonded. But as far as other kindred, I don't know if he does or not, but the Bruja as a clan are not very big on the blood bond, like many of the others are. The Ventru and the Tremere are extremely big on the blood bond. And my clan often tends to be as well.
It looks like me and my pals here, we're forming a bit of a little group as well. And if one of us does get blood bonded, it's something that could mess this up. And so it's my hope we don't do that as a group.
Yeah, I am noticing how well the four of you work together. And I believe in time, as long as you all stay in my city, once your sires deem you as ready to leave the nest, I believe I might put you together as a coterie and give you some territory, even if you haven't joined the Camarilla.
Wow.
It's possible.
Thank
you.
Don't
Very
hold me
generous.
to that. It's going to depend on the current situation when the time comes, but it is quite possible. It is quite likely. Anyone else? Mila, you had something to ask?
Yes, I don't, and outside of roleplay or whatever, I don't know if this had been addressed already with my sire, so if it did, you can just stop me. But, I, between hunts, typically prefer to drink, like, from a blood bag or a source like that, so I was getting them from the doctor. I don't remember.
Yeah, you're getting them from the doctor.
And is that something that can still continue, or?
Okay, you need to ask the prince. That's what she would have told you. We need to ask the prince. We need to ask the camera.
Okay. No, I was, okay, so that's what I'm gonna ask him then.
Okay. Ask him.
Okay. Was asking him. Yeah, so I was worded the same way, that between hunts, I typically prefer to drink from blood bags or on tap as you had in the beginning. I don't like to drink from people that don't deserve it, I suppose. So I was getting my blood from blood bags from the doctor. So is that something that can continue, or what I need to do?
As your boon, I'm willing to give you full access to Camarilla blood bags for as long as you live in my city.
Oh, wow. Okay. And where do I go for that?
To Dr. Stevens.
Oh, okay. So it's still Dr. Stevens. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
He dusts his hands. Got one settled.
I think I have an idea.
What's your idea?
Can you get my family citizenship?
I believe I can. Yes. I think I can.
Oh, that would be great. We'd be more than square.
Legit citizenship, or do you want them to have new identities?
No, legit. Like I want, I don't want them to know it's linked to me or anything. I want them to be able to live a happy life here and not keep getting exploited. We've all been.
I'm pretty sure we can manage that. If not Spider, then Goldman. It's outside of my personal repertoire, but if not Spider, then Goldman. I'll have it looked into. I'll get that taken care of.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so I did manage to find something to award you all with. Thank you very much. Now I feel much better. Like I said, I don't like to be in debt on a personal level. As Prince, being in debt, it's part of the job. But on a personal level, I prefer to be more on equal terms. Like you said, as homies.
My guys, Hector is beaming right now. Like there's obviously really, really a lot to him.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming. I hope you are all satisfied with the gifts I've given you. Spider should be getting to you all hopefully tonight.
Right, man.
Thank you.
You're
Yes,
very
th-
welcome. Perry comes up behind you. I'll show you guys out. And he walks you guys back to your vehicles. Back to the parking lot. Prince James turns around, kneels back down, and goes back to whispering and poking at the rose bush that's asleep. Okay. Anybody have anything you want to talk to Perry about? Or to anyone?
So, Perry, what made you change your minds?
Well, I'm not sure. I think I just wasn't ready to leave it all behind.
You were pretty dead set last time we saw you.
Well, times can change. People change. People change their mind. I just decided it wasn't time for me to go yet. And I'm glad I did. Look at me. And he runs his fingers through his hair. He seems to like the new distinguished Perry.
Look good, Perry.
Thanks. Yeah, I know I do. And maybe it's not too late. I'm not that much physically older than, say, Goldman, maybe becoming kindred isn't as bad of an idea as I thought it was. Maybe I'll keep that on the table as an option. I'm pretty sure Prince James would embrace me, given the way I was able to save and protect him. I'm not sure I want that.
If that's what you.
But yeah, I'm not
decide
sure I
that you
want that.
just
I was thinking that
if
there's
you
no
want.
way I wanted it, but I look and feel a lot better than I did just a week ago. This wouldn't be too
On a
bad.
different note, Harry.
What's that?
On a different note, we didn't go into many details with Prince James, but are we putting into any motion any plans for an offensive against the Sabbat? A counter-offensive or anything?
I wouldn't know
Have
anything
you
about
spoken
that.
of retaliation yet?
I wouldn't know anything
see.
about that. I'm just in security.
Fair enough. We'll keep him safe.
Yeah, that's the plan. It's always the plan. And he seems to be taking a much more serious effort into keeping himself safe now. I think it really shocked him that an attack came from out of nowhere. The Sabbat must have infiltrated us. Someone is a spy. It has to be. There has to be. Someone
If you
is a
ever
spy.
need somebody to do background investigations on people, just let me know. I think I'm going to be working pretty closely with you probably in the future.
I'll keep that in mind, yes. Yeah, maybe we can root this son of a bitch out. Okay. And you guys all drive away. Are you guys gonna hang out, or are you all going your own way?
Well, I guess I'm going back to wherever I met Jessica, and then
Okay.
other than
Yeah.
that,
Okay, so Jack goes off on his own, Hector goes off on his own, Jessica and Mila go back to whoever's car has been left behind. So as
Yeah.
Jessica and Mila, who's driving?
Driving.
Jessica's driving?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are in the car heading back to, I don't know where you were. And you get a phone call, and it is now about 11:30? 11 to 11:30. So it's late. And you are getting an emergency phone call the same way you did in Virginia.
Okay. So, hello, this is Jessica.
Okay, and you hear Anita Hernandez's voice. He's gone! Somebody took my baby!
What do you mean?
We're going to stop right there.
Cliffhanger!
Get out the car.
Oh, well played, you bastard.
Plus, it's exactly 10, so it's a good stopping point anyway. Well, 12 for you guys.
11.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Everybody gets one experience. Oh my god.
Yay!
So, make sure that you add that one experience to both numbers. You know, your total accumulated experience as well as your what you have available experience.
Nice.
And I need to add it for Jessica because you're not on here.
Right. Hurry, please.
Okay. You did get your obfuscate.
Yeah, I was, but I was able to get on there for a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, so you did it. you have experience to spend is now up to 3, and your total is now 11. Anyone else need me to do for them? Is everyone else here?
I did it for myself.
Okay.
I would like to point out that everybody should now look at the image that I posted in the Discord.
Okay, let's see what you got.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Hey Perry.
That's how Jack feels sometimes when Hector just the conversation.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I'm doing that on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh,
know,
dude, I love your role play as your character. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking. I hope this doesn't get annoying for you guys. You know.
Mm-mm.
No,
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
a 20-year jump.
Yeah, with a 20-year jump,
Going.
he should mature a little bit. You just
Yeah,
have
he'll
to keep
season
in
out.
mind that, you know, he didn't mature like entirely because he is still young, and he's also still Bruja. So the rebellious teenager thing is going to be part of him forever.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that's an example of like that bar scene. I kind of felt bad because I know you probably put some thinking into that character.
Yeah, a little bit.
And,
Not really.
No, and I also really wanted to know like what the deal with that was.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also thinking of how my guy would have reacted if just some weirdo rolls up and like the thing is that I've actually been in a few of those situations before.
Oh yeah.
Where some weirdo comes up and starts talking to you like that. And it's not like, oh well, let me find out what this guy's about. What does he mean? You know, like that's not especially if you're you grew up in a dangerous area or an area where, you know, yeah, no, like you would tell that guy back the fuck up. I'm not trying to hear what you're talking
I've had
about.
a couple of weird people approach me too, but nobody anywhere near as weird as this guy.
Yeah, I've never had that happen. I've never had some dude fucking pour dirt on a bar and start going through earth for it. But that definitely would not have made me curious enough to ask questions. I would have backed away the same way. So I think I think him in 20 years may have reacted differently, you know, because he's not going to see the guy that, like as a threat the same way. But the whole like dirty dude, he stinks. He's like he wasn't invited next thing. I think the immediate reaction was that. And then when I rolled that the messy critical, I thought, okay, this is a way to.
You did a good job, yeah. Like you kind of gave yourself, the whatever they're called.
The reason jacked up.
The compulsion. Yeah, you kind of gave yourself a compulsion. So yeah, that was great. I didn't even have to like, hey, you should get a compulsion. You just gave yourself one. Fantastic. It was fantastic.
Wait, what does the compulsion mean in game terms again?
Like, let's see. I believe you had the Bruja compulsion before the rebellion. The vampire takes a stand against whatever or whoever they see as the status quo in the situation. So that is your clan's compulsion. And then there are, besides the clan compulsions, there are also some normal ones. Like hunger, the vampire will do anything to slate their hunger. Dominance, the vampire makes their next... That could very well be the venture one. No, this is the venture one. Dominance, the vampire makes their next interaction into a competition, using all means at their disposal to end up victorious and to rub the nose of the loser in their... That's kind of what you took, what you gave yourself. Harm, the vampire performs all actions not immediately resulting in someone or something getting harmed at a -2 dice penalty. Paranoia, the vampire tries to disengage from all perceived threat. Yeah.
I purposefully did that because that last situation that I was in with was it with the military dude, the short guy?
Yeah.
That was part of the Anarchs.
Yeah, with
forget
Shorty.
his name right now.
Or
but remember,
Speedy,
you made me.
Speedy.
I had the compulsion in that scenario. Yeah. Speedy. Yeah. So I had that compulsion in that scenario. So I guess I tried to replicate that, but there was no authority to really go. So I just picked a random person in the room I was going to pick a fight with.
Yep. No. Yeah. No. You're doing great. Keep it up. Okay, we're not going to do any questions or anything because it's already late unless we want to. If you guys want to. I guess we could. We're all still here. It's not going to take that long. Who have we not done?
Experience?
Yeah, for, you know, just, like, commenting on on people's role play, the growth of their character, anything that was cool. We did Serious Jest.
You did
for
Mila.
Sure. You did Mila.
And Jessica.
We did Jessica. Did we do Jack? Maybe we haven't done Jack yet.
We haven't done Jack.
Okay, who wants to talk awesome shit about Jack or Chapin?
You know, it's funny. Chapin explained to us a lot about his character, like how his character's like disposition was and all that stuff, and he didn't even need to because he voice acted it so well. You could already tell.
Yeah.
The difference.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
How'd the family thing work out? I wanted to try and create like this family situation because we never really even touched it. So I wanted to... That... I didn't have too much of an idea. So how well did that work out?
I think that was fine.
You definitely had the shortest of the 4 scenes. But I didn't,
Yeah.
But there wasn't really anything like teaching-wise going on. So that's why.
Yeah.
But I did want to touch on the kids, and I wanted to touch on, just barely touch on the fact that, your wife rolled her eyes when your phone rang.
Jennifer.
Yeah. That, that there's some struggle going on between you guys that, life isn't perfect.
Yeah. Crossroads and what I want to do with his situation, because it's this weird thing of there's basically 2 different plans that Jack has been I've been thinking about paths for what he could do.
Who'd we lose, or was it me? Maybe it was me. Am I still here? It must have been me, because nobody's talking. My internet is falling apart. At least it waited until now. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Sorry.
But with this positive development in terms of Jack being able to get a new identity and his family sort of get back on track, and him be able to find, thing that he can still do what he believes is his calling, but then it's a good fit. He's now lulled back into maybe I can make it work. Still gonna have to think. But I don't think Jack's gonna need to fake his death. That would be really.
He's 20 years are gonna go by, and he's still not gonna age as far as his family notices. But 20 years is workable.
Yeah.
Not much more than that, but 20 years is workable. 10
It's
more years after that, and your wife's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But 20 years is workable, and now that you don't have such coworkers, as long as you stay out of the press, do jobs for the prince more than you do jobs for the, for the people, then you should be able to do okay.
Yeah, it's still it's an interesting question.
Or you could still do that,
Yeah, part of me was like, man, I want to have this really dramatic scene where his fake funeral's happening. It'd be real sad.
You can still do that.
But
especially if you feel like your wife or your family will have a better life without you.
Yeah, it's just hard. So I'm really torn. Path is going to be, and it's a really hard decision for me.
Yeah.
Character.
Yep. Anyone else want to comment on Chapin or Jack?
Just like how. No, I was gonna say I was gonna like how it's really nice how his character kind of overlaps with all the other characters in some little way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With because with Mila, it's kind of they overlap on the justice side, and then with Jessica, it kind of overlaps on the professional side where they can actually have professional conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Hector, which is kind of the fun diametric opposition. So it's just kind of like it all just kind of fits in, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I was gonna say, hey, you could tell Chapin has kids because, like, he just the, it was very, very like sincere responses. It sounded like there's a frame of there.
Do you have kids, JP?
Well,
Because he's pretty
no,
young.
I don't. But
Really?
I do care about my family. I don't have kids, but I'm really just trying to stay true to the role.
Oh wow!
Are you at
So,
least an
wow,
uncle?
Great job.
I am an uncle. Yeah, I am an uncle.
So you've had some practice.
Yeah, I have rocked my niece to sleep before.
Oh yeah. Yep. You kind of have kids then. Yeah.
Yes.
And that
Well, that's
was
the
really
fun
awesome.
part.
Like, I really I started caring about your family as like a listener.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. And I think and I think that's another good point too, is he does a good job of bringing all of us in. So we're all wondering, like, what are you going to do? What's the decision going to be? So
Yeah, it'll be. I'm gonna have to really think about it. I'm not sure, but it's fun trying to figure it out and sort of.
If you
decide.
can't figure it out, you can just roll a die and just.
This
This is the way 20 years happened. We could even come up with a story as to why.
Maybe as a last resort.
Yeah.
Decided how we're gonna handle the jump yet, Sestonn?
So I believe we have one session left, but it might turn out to be 2. I'm not sure. And then we will have a session that is reworking the characters, filling out all of the points that we left behind. Like, there are a lot of vampire-related backgrounds that you guys have and we didn't actually do, and points that weren't spent so that you could spend them on that. And then you also get experience during the 20 years. And then either during that, depending on how long that took, we'll either finish the session with, I'm going to go over some events that happened, and you guys can just tell me how you were involved or didn't get involved. We also have to write up the coterie as a character. The coterie gets its own points, and you can spend some of your own experience into the coterie's points. And then we need to work out the relationship map. So we may have 1 or even 2 sessions of in between as we work out that stuff. And then I think the opening scene is going to be a party. A proper vampire party.
Nice.
Where I think
Sounds
he's
like
going to where Prince James will assign you into this coterie that we created.
Okay.
So that'll be our first opening scene in the new jump.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna have to head out now, so.
Yep, I got to get ready for bed myself. Okay, thank you guys very much. Let's cut the recording. 3, 2, 1.